Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another one. Hope all is well. On this case, we're going to talk about some strange occurrences in the Carmelo Anthony case. Only one witness was called on his behalf when they were in the penalty phase, when they were arguing mitigating circumstances on why he should be sentenced on the low end. Only one witness. His dad didn't even testify in his own behalf. What is that telling you? His dad didn't even do it. He was there. You thought it would have been some people from his community to come out and speak on his behalf, to say what good kid he was and why you should sentence him on the low end. The jury didn't have much to go on. They didn't have many people to listen to. They only listened to his mother. And this is a rather strange case. This is one of the strangest cases like I've ever witnessed. One of the strangest. Because a lot of stuff don't make any sense. I mean, people are quick to say that they didn't touch the money. They didn't touch the money. The fact of the matter is, the family raised a lot of money, regardless of what people are saying. He didn't rate. They didn't touch the money. There was a lot of money raised here, and I believe they do have control of that money. And I'm just wondering why, like, nobody came out to speak on his behalf. You know, it's rather strange to me. The only person that had his back was his mother, and his father sitting right up in there looking crazy. It's crazy to me. If I'm on a jury, I'm witnessing that. I'm on his father didn't say nothing. Okay. And if you research, guys, I'm not gonna say it here because I don't want to start any trouble, but I'm gonna give you some homework. If you don't believe me, research his lawyer, research his attorney. Guys, he had a public defender. I'm not kidding you. He had a public defender, yo. And research where that person used to work. They all were connected in the courtroom. Everybody knew each other. Everybody did, even his defense attorneys. Okay, you already aware? You did say that. He had a public defender. They didn't care about this kid, man. And the fact of the matter is he could have took a deal. They didn't want to take the deal because you take the deal, this is my opinion. If he had taken a deal early on, like a year ago, you ain't gonna collect no more money. Bro, this is cold. What they did to him, this is cold, man. This is cold. And let me just say something about the attorneys. If you want to take this all the way to trial, they can't stop you. It's your right to take it to trial. But if you could work out a deal, because they called him dead to rights. This is a real strange case. I didn't realize he had a PD, man. I thought he had a paid attorney. He had a public defender, man. And I know people are talking about his inadequate representation. Now we know why. It's not the attorney's fault. They're doing what they can do. Guys, with this type of situation, all that money that he raised, that needed to go to an attorney. He could have bought himself a manslaughter, in my opinion. They got their money. I hope they enjoy their money, though. I hope they enjoy it. They enjoy that money. Wait, let me go back to your comment. Give me a second. You said no, Max. The kid's innocent, but he couldn't afford. Yes, he could have. They raised money. They raised over $600,000 to date. They could have worked something out with a paid attorney. Look, we getting money. We'll give you more. They came from a situation where they were doing pretty well. They could afford an attorney, man. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. But I hope they enjoy their money. Okay. So what is the fund that I'm currently looking at with his picture on it? The parents are not controlling that? That's what you're saying? I'm sorry. His parents is doing okay. I saw the house that he lived in. They could afford an attorney. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. You had a PD? Nope. I'm not buying this, guys. You're not going to hit me with this narrative. I'm not buying that. They could afford a paid attorney. They failed him. His parents failed him, man. They failed him, man. They did. You mean to tell me you couldn't pay 5,000 for an attorney? You could get a paid attorney for 10,000, 5,000, 10,000, something to work out a deal. I'm not saying go to trial. I work out a deal. This. You don't take this to trial, man. He admitted to killing the guy, but the question is, was it manslaughter or was it murder one? He left this in the hands of everyday people, and that's the jury. They represent the community. He left his life in their hands when you could have worked out a deal, in my opinion. A deal could have worked out here. I don't care what nobody say. I'm gonna stand alone on this one. You know why? I've been watching these cases for a very long time. I've already predicted what was gonna happen to him. I said it was gonna be a quick deliberation and they're gonna stick it to him. I was right. I'm gonna stand alone on this. I don't want to hear nothing about no money. Okay. You could have got a paid attorney. I saw the house they lived in. I'm not talking about the house they rented. I'm talking about the house they lived in before the one they rented. Somebody had some money somewhere. You couldn't spend 5, 10,000 on a lawyer. I don't buy this, man. Um, and then even the person, in my opinion, that they had representing them in the public, terrible choice. Terrible choice. I don't want to hear anything about they don't have control of that money. I don't want to hear nothing about it. There's money out there with his face on it. Let me see something. You said Carmelo is in the wrong. I just said I just said manslaughter. I didn't say he wasn't going to jail. I said they left him out to dry. They didn't at least get they didn't give him no Vaseline. That's what I'm talking about. No Vaseline. They ain't give him no Vaseline. I mean, we all in agreement that this is at least manslaughter. He was going to get jail time, but this he didn't have adequate representation. He didn't, in my opinion. He didn't have adequate representation. Yeah, we're not saying that he didn't do it. We're not saying that he's not wrong. He just ain't had no Vaseline. You said no, it's not manslaughter. What is it then? Oh, you Paul, you saying it's self-defense. Paul, come on, man. And now they're going with this narrative. They they going with this narrative now that it was self-defense and there's another video out there. Guys, the video would have been played in court if there was another video out there. There's not another video out there. If it is, that then you could blame his lawyers though for that. He walked in that courtroom with no Vaseline, DS. No Vaseline. None. To ease his pain. Nothing. Oh, did he have yeah, I just showed you. And I wouldn't I shouldn't even showed this picture. I said, I hope this is not his lawyer, man. I hope it's not. Apparently it was. That's how his lawyer showed up, man. I tell people this is no joke. Back in the day, I knew people that lawyers dressed like this. They all went to jail, all of them. And then some of them are still in jail. If you wear pants like that, pleated like that, you going to jail. And that ain't no joke. You guys can't tell me they didn't raise no money. I know people say no money, no max the money was given back. Let me research because y'all playing with me. Hold on. Let me see. Y'all playing with me. We're gonna find out right now. Because I know what I saw. Carmelo. Let's see right now. Let's see. We're gonna do this research on the fly. Because people keep saying no, the money was given back. Uh-uh. Oh no. Oh no. 625,000 to 633,000 to date. That was the fundraiser. I hope they enjoy their money. I hope y'all take a trip. I hope y'all enjoy your money. I hope y'all enjoy your money. They raised $625,000. I don't want the bots to come up in here and say they didn't raise no money because I'm gonna block you because you're a bot. Stop with the bots. Okay. I'm looking at it right now. Okay. They raised roughly 625,000 to 633,000 online. And the goal is listed at 1.4 million. I don't want to hear that the money was given back. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Let's just move on. Okay, let's move on. I hope they enjoy their money. And another thing, when you start crying, I want to see tears when you cry. I want to see tears. I didn't see no tears on his parents' face. I want to see tears when you cry. You could have spent 200 and a quarter, you could have spent $250,000 on a great attorney to get this kid maybe manslaughter. Okay. Which is 20 years. He could have been out in 10 or whatever the jury had decided. Or what? No, it wouldn't even went to the listen. And I'm not even talking about going to trial. I'm talking about working out a deal. I'm not talking about going to trial. I have watched cases for the past decade. You don't take shit like this to trial. Okay. So I don't want to hear nobody got to say, I've been watching this stuff since Aaron Hernandez, even before that. I started watching cases. I started getting in this when the OJ Simpson trial went on. That's when I started following cases. I researched a lot of cases that involve Thurgood Marshall. Okay. A lot of precedent cases. I followed the case of Muhammad Ali because Muhammad Ali case went all the way to the Supreme Court. If those don't know, his case set precedent because he didn't want to go into the war because of his religious beliefs. I studied that. I, st- I st- Roe v. Wade, um, Brown versus the Board of Education, Plessy versus Ferguson. I'm gonna name them for you if you want me to. I've been studying this stuff. This ain't something you take to trial right here. $250,000 would have got him the best lawyer to work out a deal. Let me tell y'all something real quick. A friend of mine, he's a lawyer, attorney. I called him. I said, "Yo, what's up with this right here, man?" He said, "Oh, I mean," he said he got found guilty. He said, what is your question?" I said, "Yo, that ain't that crazy to you? Why he take it to trial?" He said he has a right to take it to trial. I said, "Okay." He said, "What's your question though?" I said, "Would you have taken it to trial?" He said, "No." And he said, "But my client has the right to take it to trial." And he said, if he wanted to take it to trial, I would have referred him to another attorney. I wouldn't. He said, "I wouldn't have taken the case because I don't want to lead this kid through the gallows." That's what he said. He said, "I don't want to lie to the kid and take his money and lead him through the gallows." He's already knew he was. I already knew what was going to happen. But he said there was a slight chance. We never know what the jury is going to say. He said that. So, but now he's been convicted. So, what's your next question? I said, could you have worked him out a deal? He said, for sure I could have. He said, I would have bought that kid no more than 10 years. I would have bought it for him, which means he probably would have got 15, 20. He said in Texas, you got to do half of that. He said he would have bought him maybe 8. Now, he said, more maybe if he's lucky, he would have bought him 7 years. He would have been out. He said he would have been out just before he turned 30. He would have been home. So he told me, he said, remember that what I told you a long time ago? When he said when I first got my when I passed the bar exam, when I was working for that firm in New York City, I said, yeah. He said, what did they tell me? He said, all that stuff you learn in law school is for the birds. He said, now we getting ready to teach you how to be a lawyer. He said, it's not, he said, deals are made behind the scenes. Okay. He said, deals are made behind the scenes, man. Deals are made behind the scenes. You listen to us, you listen to how we do it. We're going to show you how to be a lawyer now. Deals are made behind the scenes. He said he could have purchased him a lawyer that was very respectable. They could have made a deal out on the golf course and bought this kid 7 years. You said why is he only getting 35 years? That's up to the jury. The jury decided that he was getting 35 years, not the judge. You don't lead this type of situation. See, guys, see, this is what people are not telling you. This is what, see, we're going to keep repeating this situation if you don't learn from this. We're going to keep repeating it. These celebrities and stuff, they don't give a damn about the average person. They just saying stuff because it's popular. The fact of the matter is, he said on police body cam, I was the one that did it. It's not alleged. I did that. I told him not to touch me. Okay? He didn't say I didn't tell the kid not to stomp on me. He kept stomping on me. He said these kids were beating me up. He didn't say that. He said, I told that kid, told him not to touch me. I told him not to touch me. He's not gonna die. I told him not to touch me. That didn't that what he did didn't equal up to what happened didn't equal up to what he did. So what do you do at that point? You spend about $250,000 and you get you a respectable attorney in Texas, and they make that deal out on the golf course. And give him manslaughter. He'd have been out in 7 years, point blank. And then you pay extra money and say, listen, I want to guarantee that he get out the first time when he make parole. That all been worked out already. Listen, I know a guy that beheaded somebody and ripped up a corpse, was found innocent in the state of Texas. His name is Robert Durst, if you don't believe me. He decapitated somebody and still beat that case because he got money. Still beat that case in Texas, even though he was found guilty in California for the death of his then friend Susan Berman. He was part of the Durst family. You know, in New York City, in real estate, you have certain families. You have the Trump family. This is back from the 60s, from the 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and on up. You have the Trump family. You have the Kleins, Trump, Klein. You have the Durst family. There's other families too, as far as that hold a lot of real estate in New York City. Robert Durst was one of them. He's an heir from that family, Robert Durst. He beheaded somebody and he was on the run. Beheaded somebody and beat the damn case in Texas. So don't tell me what money can't buy. $250,000 would have got this kid 7.5 years. Stop playing with me. He wouldn't have to go to trial. A lawyer told me this. He said, why is he going to trial, man? He killed the kid. But let's see if we can work out a deal behind the scenes. You know, sometimes money changes hand behind the scenes. Did you know that? Since they got word that he raised all this money, they would have to use most of that money behind the scenes. to get this kid home before his 30s. I hope they enjoy that money. I hope they do. I hope they enjoy the money, man. Some people like money that bad. I don't like money that bad. I don't. Money is an idea anyway. It's not a real thing. It's an idea. It used to be a real thing when it was backed by gold. But thanks to Nixon and his administration, it's the fiat now. It's a promissory note. It says it right on there. It's a promissory note. It's backed by the United States military. Money is worth nothing. It's an idea. So enjoy the money. Enjoy it because he's getting ready to go through hell. He's getting ready to go through hell on earth. You see, they already cut his hair. You mean to tell me they raised all that money and that child had a public defender? I don't want to hear nothing else. Nothing else. It's on them now. That this is on y'all. So this is some weird stuff. Was this a psyop? Or are they just playing with me? Was this a psyop? You mean to tell me he didn't have nobody from his community to come to court to talk on his behalf? They could have paid me some of that money. I could have came to court and showed out for him and made a good speech to talk to the judge. Okay? They couldn't get somebody, couldn't get an actor in there to talk good for him. Nothing. Just his mother talking. They didn't have no psychiatrist. They didn't have no psychologist to come in, no therapist to talk to him, nothing to come speak to that jury because that jury was just deciding his fate. Yeah, there's plenty of people would have testified on for free on his behalf. We watched a lynching. That's what we watched. This is a public lynching. That's what we watched. And it didn't have to be a public lynching because it didn't have to go to trial. Okay? Every case is not meant to go to trial now. What's done is done. That's right. On to the next. But we almost finished. I just want to get my final remarks on this. Yeah, the jury mind was made up. That's why you don't sit there and put this in the hands of the jury. Make a deal. And look, I followed another case. I know you guys have seen, some of you, press one if you've seen this documentary on Hulu. It was called Nature Boy. It was about a cult. Well, I followed that cult here on YouTube. Actually, I talked to Nature Boy. He knows me. I know him very well. And I know him very well, actually. And Nature Boy during his trial, that was a situation where he should have took a deal. Okay. They offered him like 3.5, 4 or 5 years or something like that at first. He didn't take it. He was playing in their face. They sentenced him to life without the possibility of parole plus 25 years. And I had said on my channel, I said, as soon as he get to jail, he's not gonna make it. Nobody believes me over here because I don't get a lot of views. Nobody believes me. I say he's not gonna make it. And guess what happened? As soon as he got to jail, he got stabbed about 8 times. As soon as he got there. I said it. He's not gonna make it. He's not gonna make it. So now he's in solitary confinement all day long, which he could have took a plea deal and he would have saw the light of day again in about 5 years. Nobody listens to me. And his people were listening to me throughout the trial. Nobody took my advice. Not one. I said, stop playing with these people and take the deal. Stop playing with these people and take the deal. And I had told him, I said, you better get a lawyer. I talked to him about a couple years prior to that. He came on my show. And I said, listen, I said, you need an attorney. You need a paid attorney because these people are making videos on you. He said, you know what he said? Well, bad press is better than none at all. I said, sir, that's not it. You need an attorney. I said, because it's easy to set you up. And from what I know, Nature Boy got set up, from what I know. But here's the thing: he didn't help himself when he tried to talk to the attorneys. When he tried, no, excuse me, he tried to talk to the investigators. When he talked to the investigators, that's when it went crazy. I keep telling people, tell your kids if you get arrested, do not say nothing to the police. Keep your mouth shut. He didn't keep his mouth shut. He tried to talk himself out of it, and he talked himself into getting convicted. Because that's what they use to convict him. They use his interrogation video. That's what convicted him. That's what convicted him. But prior to that, let me tell you something real quick. You know the people that's testifying in that documentary? Well, let me tell y'all something y'all don't know. Let me tell y'all something they don't know. They were willing participants. Y'all didn't know that. They were willing participants. Oh, yes. They were willing participants. Okay? They gave him thousands of dollars to be there. And it was a part on that video that a lot of people don't believe, but he said, well, he wanted us to drink his fluids, if you know what I mean. That's not what he said. He said, if you guys want my knowledge, you'll drink my downloads. I know the real story. Nobody did that, but he said that y'all should be drinking my downloads. All those people were willing participants, every last one of them were willing participants. But what happened was it got a little too hot in the kitchen at the end. Let me tell you something else you don't know. Some of those, some of those, some of those people, they took PPP loans out in children names. Okay, they were already being watched, so they better have did what they did. Y'all didn't know that. There's a lot of stuff you didn't know. I know. Okay, a lot of PPP loans being taken. How is a young baby have a business taking a PPP loan out? I'll wait. I told him, I said, don't play with these folks. I said, I told one of his people, I said, he needs to take that deal. He need to take the deal because he probably already talked to the and he shouldn't have talked when they arrested him. I knew he was talking because he was talking while they were arresting him. I said they offered him a deal. I think it was about 5 years, something like that. He should have taken it. He didn't want to take it because he's God. That's what he was saying. He was still acting like that. I said, stop playing in these folks. Stop playing in these folks' face because in the state of Georgia, I keep telling people, if you got kids, learn the state constitution and also the U.S. Constitution. It's two. Learn both and learn the laws in your state. I said, listen, what you're being accused of in Georgia, they don't play when it comes to that. They give high numbers there. Take the deal. Nobody would listen. They sentenced him to life without the possibility of parole plus 25 years. I predicted it. And then I said, if you're going to take it to trial, I said, y'all going to have to raise at least $50,000, $60,000. They didn't even have it. I said, so what are you taking it to trial for? You might as well take the deal that they gave you. And then the second deal was more time. They offered him more time. I think it was like over like close to 20 years. But what he didn't realize was he didn't have to do the whole 20 years. He would have been out in like 10 or 12. At least he would have saw the light of day again. Nobody believes me, man. Because I ain't nobody. You know what I'm saying? I ain't nobody to listen to. I ain't nobody to listen to. I predicted it. I predicted the Karmelo case. I said, guys, this is an easy case. He gonna be found guilty. Nobody, nah, Max, nah. Yes, he is. He gonna be found guilty. I said this gonna take. I said deliberation ain't gonna take but a couple of hours. I said it right on here. Why? Because what did he say to the police officer? I told him not to touch me. He didn't say that they were beating him to a pulp. He didn't describe that. He said he didn't say all that. He said I told him not to touch me. And then he said, no, he not gonna die. And then he started crying. He not gonna die. So he already, that was his admission to what he did. I couldn't believe his family raised all this money and had a public defender. I can't believe this. I don't want to hear nothing what y'all got to say. Talking about he didn't get the money. I don't want to hear it. How did they afford to rent another house? That house was huge. I'll wait. How did they afford to rent that if they can't pay for a lawyer? Stop playing with me. I was born during the day, but not yesterday. When I'm talking like this, guys, that's just so I won't put nobody to sleep. Just to let you know, Ryan knows that. I'm not trying to be like, oh, you know what I mean? I'm just trying not to put y'all to sleep because when I talk, sometimes it gets like, I kind of drag when I talk. So I'm trying to like be upbeat. That's what I'm doing. Not that I'm like upset about this. I'm just trying to be a little upbeat for y'all. Because somebody tells me it helps me out when I do that. When I do that. But just to let you guys know, all of you are right. All of you are right. But you weren't on his team. You don't raise all that money and get a public defender. You don't sit there and have money to rent a house, a huge house, and ain't got a public defender. I'm sorry. Well, instead of renting that house, go get a paid lawyer. Please. That's true. I mean, that could be the case too. Ms. Jackson, you said maybe the attorney wouldn't take the case if people were getting so many things. It could be. Maybe some people didn't want to take it. You're right. That's true. You could say that. Maybe we wouldn't say, I shouldn't say predict. Maybe we should say we just sitting up here seeing how it was going to play out. We knew how it was going to play out. Locked away and throwed away a key on this kid. And the thing is, with certain crimes, it's that way. This is not a situation where he can like turn back the hands of time because it's final. What he did was final. He killed somebody. I could see if he stabbed the kid in the arm or something like that. Yes, he's gonna get some time, but he's not gonna get that much time. But he's gonna get some time, but not that much time because um, the life haven't been lost. The life was lost here. His life wasn't lost. Now, I know people are saying that the kids are bullies. Talking about the twins. They don't have exemplary backgrounds either. They don't. However, it doesn't result in somebody losing a life. That don't mean they should lose their life if they're bullies. Apparently they were with the shits. Apparently they were. But that's not what he said to the police officer. He said, I told that kid not to touch me. I'm paraphrasing, but he said, I told him not to touch me. And he did. He said him. He didn't say they. He didn't say I told that. He didn't say multiple people touched him. He said, I told him not to touch me. So that's what happened. No, you say I don't know why people. We're not. So I'm not surprised by the verdict. I even said it, but people are surprised. I think people are trying to trigger people with this case. Don't be triggered with this case, guys. Don't be triggered with this. I know. And look, you know what? You know what somebody said? Self defense don't apply to us. Well, tell that to a friend of mine. Tell that to a friend of mine, man. He sat there and popped two people and called the police. Said, "Here, I'm right here." Did he do any time in jail? No. It was a robbery attempt. You know what happened? You probably guys know the story, but I'm not going to tell you. There was a situation that happened. He had an expensive sports car and he was coming home. You know how when you come home, you wait for your garage to open? When his garage was opening, they blocked his driveway. They blocked his driveway and they told him to get out the car. As he getting out the car, he started popping them. I'm not gonna tell you what state it happened in. You probably could see it on YouTube. He started popping them. Okay. And the police, they took him down for questioning, but then they saw the surveillance and all that. They said, sorry. He said, I'm sorry you had to do this, but yeah, you can go. They said, you can go, man. They said, we don't, we're the pay. We just got to finish the paperwork, but you good. And the only questioning they really had for him, they asked him, was he mentally okay? Do he need some help? Do they need him to do something? Or, um, they said, we'll give you your firearm back after the investigation is over. And they gave it back to him eventually. And he happened to be a brother. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Well, that the reason why he did that, man, is because he shot another brother. No, he did not. You better go. You better go find it. Now that I told you, go find it now. It wasn't brothers he shot. I'm not telling you which demographic it was, but he ain't see no light. He ain't see no jail time. Not none. But it was robbery, and it was caught on his home surveillance. He didn't see no time in jail. So it applies to us too. Self-defense applies to us too. And guess what? You guys are saying, well, it's because of who he is. Well, why is Chud the Builder locked up then? He shot a brother. Why is Chud the Builder still locked up? Because he's wrong. He's wrong. He shouldn't have baited that person. That person was a military vet that was suffering from PTSD. That's why he in jail. He shouldn't have baited the guy. And then he shot the guy. That's attempted murder. Chud going to jail. You ain't gonna see him make no more videos. Chud getting at least 20 on the wake up, at least 20. Okay. So the law applies to us too. It just depends on the situation. Now, do people judge us in a harsher light? Yes, they do. You have to tell your kids this too. They do judge us in a harsher light. You gotta mind your P's and Q's out here. And I know people say, well, it ain't fair. Well, shit, that's the life that we can't control the hand we dealt. That's just the life we have. We got to work with these cards we were dealt. That's it. Okay. Sometimes life is like that. That's how the system is. There's no way they should have paid a little bit more money on the lawyer. They didn't give a damn to talk to the jury to try to convince the jury. They only had one person, his mother. Are you kidding me? His father didn't even talk. So why y'all care if his father didn't care? Why y'all care? Huh? His own father didn't even talk in his behalf in front of that judge, in front of the jury. You don't think something wrong with that? And he's sitting up there holding up the heart sign at the car. I said to myself, I said, this got to be a psyop. It has to be. Because this don't make no sense. If I raise that amount of money, you best believe at least a quarter of a million to 300,000 going to a lawyer, at least. I would got him somebody equivalent of Tony Busby, somebody that's respected in Texas in the good old boy system that can make a deal on a golf course. That's what I would have paid for. So this kid could get what do you call it? Manslaughter. Now, let me just say this. There's pictures circulating around saying that his dad with the judge and all that, the judge was not in that picture. They lying to you. The judge was not. See, they playing with us. All you got to go is look at the judge's face and then go look at the picture to see if the judge in the picture, he's not in that picture. But they're saying that the judge is in the picture. And then there was another guy outside the courthouse that said that he saw the real video. He was lying to y'all. And he's also a convicted child sex offender. Y'all don't know that. They playing in our face. But he probably was paid to go out there to do a smoke screen. Did you know some of the people that was outside that courthouse acting a fool, they were at the Diddy trial? They're paid protesters. Did you know that? Y'all didn't know that? I was at the Diddy trial. I remember the faces. I said, ain't this something? What they doing out there? Man, listen, man, they playing with us. They playing with us. But hey, it ain't none of my business. That's all I got to say about it. Oh, the dad holding up the heart. Yeah, he was holding up the heart. No, this is when they were coming out the courtroom, when they were talking to the people. What you holding up a heart for? You should have held up some money for an attorney. And guys, go research the attorney that he had. Go research the job they had before this. Go research it. And you're going to find out that the judge, his attorney, everybody knew each other. Everybody knew each other in that courtroom. Everybody. I'm talking about his attorney. All you got to do is go back and see what he was doing before this. You'd be like, oh my God, yeah. He ain't care, man. Come on, man. It's just a job at the end of the day. You win some, you lose some. Like, he still got paid, you know. And then people saying, no, Max, they didn't touch that money that they raised. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, man. I just researched it on the fly. But I hope they enjoy their money. Take some more trips. Okay? I hope they take some more trips and things like that. They deserve it. Okay? They deserve it. Go take your trips. At least they could put something in his commissary. There you go. You said public defender turned used to be prosecutor. You said, but ask yourself, hold on, let me read your thing. But actually, where is it? Where's your hold on one second. I'll come back to that. You said glad he didn't take a plea. He deserved a long sentence. I know a lot of people saying that. Hold on, let me go back to the other one. Some people think that 35 wasn't enough. You see. But ask yourself, if Karmelo was white and Austin was black, what would be the outcome? If they didn't have a paid attorney, the same outcome. In Texas, the same outcome. Texas is an eye for an eye state. If you don't believe me, I'll prove it to you. You ready? You ready to jot this name down? I know what you're thinking. They don't do that to white people. Watch this. Jot this name down. Cameron Todd is his middle name, Todd, Willingham. Cameron Todd Willingham. Texas put him to death and he ain't even do it. He was a white guy. He ain't even do it. They accused him of killing his daughters and they said it was arson. But guess what happened? They went back and researched it and figured out it was an electrical fire. And you know what Rick Perry, the governor at the time, said? Well, he was a bad guy anyway. No, Texas is an eye for an eye state. It's just a lot of people don't know that. They don't give a damn what color you are. They love putting people away in Texas. Okay? They love putting you away. They love it. They put that man to death and he was innocent. He was innocent. His name is Cameron Todd Willingham. He was innocent. All they had to do was do further investigation, but they did after the fact. They said, well, let me just do this because we know he committed arson. So let's go analyze the property anyway. And then the fire science person said this was electrical fire. He didn't do it. Y'all put that innocent man to death. Well, he was a bad guy anyway. You know how bad Texas is? You know George W. Bush, former president of the United States? He used to be the governor of Texas. You know what they used to call him? the Texecutor, because he signed so many death warrants. You know, former Governor Rick Perry, they nicknamed him the Texecutioner. Okay, so yeah, Texas don't play. I could have told y'all this. Texas don't play. So it would have been the same outcome. Y'all just didn't know that. It'd be the same outcome. They do not play. If you do a crime, they love to put you away. I just explained to you they put a white guy to death. I just explained this to you. They put a white guy to death, right? When they didn't even want to spend the money to do the extra research on it. No, he did it. He did it. Let's put him to death. But if you do believe, you said, here we go again, the GoFundMe hasn't released the money yet. Well, once they release it, I hope they enjoy the money. I hope they enjoy it. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that because I've already said they collected that money. Well, if they didn't collect the money, how are they able to afford to rent a house that's huge? That rental home is huge. How are they able to afford that? And you can't get a better lawyer. Sorry, I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't sugarcoat nothing over here. I don't. Instead of renting that house, you use that money that you're renting the house and get a lawyer. That's it. I heard they did not yank it. He's entitled to the money. Didn't George Zimmerman raise money? Didn't Kyle Rittenhouse raise money? Yeah, it's not wrong with them raising money. You said they can release it once he gets out. I don't know, guys. I don't know about that one because they don't look like they hurting for money. I'm sorry. But anyway, I said what I said. The outcome is the outcome now. The outcome is the outcome. So we're not surprised by the outcome. He the one said that the man put his hands on him. That doesn't result in stabbing somebody. If somebody put my hands on me right now, either I'm gonna walk away or put my hands back on them. One or the other. Okay? That's what I'm gonna do. You put your hands on me, I'm gonna put my hands back on you. And if I can't walk away, the cops gonna get called. Every now and then we have crazy people out here to test us. It happens all the time. One time I was sitting on my porch one time. This is some weird shit. Some random guy just came up. He said he live in the neighborhood. He actually do live in the neighborhood. He said, I've been watching you. He said, yeah, where you from? I said, I'm from Jersey. He said, oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I'll be watching you. And he was looking at me in my eyes. I wouldn't look away. I'm looking at him like I'm a damn pit bull. I wouldn't look away because he was looking for a weakness. And I know people like it. Then he was talking to me, grabbed my shoulder, and I took his hand and I kind of chopped his hand off my shoulder. I said, don't touch me. I said, I'm not to be touched. Don't touch me. Okay. He put his hand on my shoulder. I knocked his hand off my shoulder. I didn't take no weapon and stab him in the chest because I'll be sitting up there right now with Karmelo. Okay. That's how it works. So if somebody put their hands on you, you put your hands back on them. Okay. We need to go back to the old school way of living and start wearing these damn purses and pocketbooks. Okay. Let's stop wearing the purses and pocketbooks as men. And let's go back to being men. If a man put his hands on you, you put your hands back on him. Okay? Or you walk away, and if he's still trailing you, then you call the police if you don't want to sit up there and you risk going to jail. Period, point blank. That's it. Now, I know what you guys are saying. Well, Max, why come you ain't talking about the twins? They were wrong too. And he learned the hard way. I hate to say it that way. That kid learned the hard way. He got that kid sent him up. He was bullying. That's the last time he bullied. He learned the hard way. The old golden rule is leave your hands to yourself. Leave your hand. He just appealed it. They just announced it on the AP. He's appealing the case. The golden rule is leave your hands to yourself and mind your own business. They did none of that. See, here's the ultimate lesson that this kid learned. He lost his life. You can't play with people because you don't know what's going through people's mind. He thought he was just going to bully and be done with it. That was it. He didn't know that was the last seconds of his life. That's why you're supposed to keep your hands off people. I'm not justifying what Karmelo did, but you needed to keep your hands to yourself. But other than that, we can learn from this. So why don't you teach your kids, instead of sitting up here complaining, teach your kids to keep their hands to themselves and mind their own business. Let's do that. And maybe we won't have these cases. Don't bring no knife to no fist fight. If Karmelo got beat up, he got beat up. He probably got his respect. At least he fought. That's how we used to do it back in the day. And then people talking about some video that we don't even know exists. Well, if it do exist, I hope the video comes out. But I'm looking at his mugshot. He don't look like he got injured at all. I don't see no lumps on him. Nothing. No busted lip. Nothing. I got jumped. I had a busted lip. I ain't see no, and I had a lump on my head. I ain't see nothing on it with the sort. See, I talk this truth talk over here. See, man, people just like live in a fantasy world. He shouldn't have brought no knife to a damn fist fight. That's just what it is. So hopefully we can learn from it. Tell your kids that. Put the purses down. Stop wearing the pocketbook. Give it back to the young ladies, because ladies gotta have something. Let them wear the pocketbooks in the tight jeans. Okay. And if he's a punk, get in the boxing gym and learn how to fight. That's it. You can't tell me they ain't have no money. I know what y'all saying, Max, but they just ain't have. He was driving a Lexus. Stop me. Stop playing with me. He was driving a Lexus. Okay? They had some money somewhere to get a better lawyer. That kid went from a comfortable lifestyle to whatever his number is now. You said you're right to him. You're hearing that the utility knife was for the cleats in their track shoes. I mean, I'm not against him carrying a knife. I don't care about that part, but he shouldn't have used it. And they shouldn't have been trying to bully. He shouldn't have been doing that. It shouldn't have been. They should have kept the hands to themselves. Well, he should have kept his hands to himself. He just learned the old. He learned quickly too. That was a quick situation because he said he stabbed him so quick he didn't realize he got stabbed. That's crazy. Stopped him right in his tracks. You said that picture is from yesterday. No, I'm not talking about this picture. I'm talking about the initial picture when he got locked up. He ain't had no lumps on him. Not this picture. This picture, they cut his hair. They cut his hair yesterday. No, not this one. You say you hope the bullies learn. No, bullies never learn. You always gonna have bullies out here. They never learn. Never learn. I wish he could have known some type of self-defense because there's different other things he could have done to get out of that situation if he felt like the kid was going to beat him up. But, it is what it is now. You said there was multiple witnesses called on Carmelo's behalf. Oh Lord, you don't know what you're talking about. So what you're saying is it was more people that spoke up on his behalf other than his mother. That's what you're telling me. I don't know what you smoking. His mother was the only one that spoke up on his behalf after during the sentencing phase. You said my sons be taking karate lessons. At least that builds their self-esteem and confidence. Because that's what that does. You said you think his mother was the only one. Yes, his mother was the only one. His mother was the only one that talked on his behalf. Absolutely. In front of that jury, yes, his mother was the only one. You got something else to say? Because you look crazy right now. You look crazy. Yeah, his mother was the only one that spoke in his behalf. Yo, I honestly think they trying to play Jedi mind tricks on us. Yeah, his mother was the only one that talked. His dad, I know you thinking. Certainly his dad talked in his behalf. No, he did not. Mr. Dark. Dark is smoking some serious stuff. You said they didn't have to show up to the court, but they did. You talking about his parents? They didn't have to show up to the court, but they did. Oh, bravo. Bravo. I praised them for showing up to court for their son. Man, please. It's over with now. Let me tell you something. By August 23rd, no, excuse me, by June 23rd, nobody's going to be talking about this case no more. I promise you this. By June 23rd, we'll be done talking about it. We'll be on to something else. You talking about the witnesses his lawyer got to testify? No, I'm not talking about that, Dark. I'm talking about the character witnesses, during the sentencing phase. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe me and you getting mixed up. I'm talking about during the sentencing phase. It was only his mother talked in his behalf. His father didn't say a word. As far as the witnesses, I think they called four. That was about it. And that wasn't even enough. You said so Cardi offered 5 million for new lawyer. I haven't heard that one. Damn, 5 million. That's crazy. That's nice of her. What she did it after the fact? It's too late now. unless he's gonna take that for the. No, I wouldn't. I ain't giving that to his family. If she gonna pay for a little, let her do it. No, you talking about an appeal attorney. Now, here's one issue though in the appeals. If they're saying that his dad, that the victim's dad knew the judge and everything, the judge should have recused himself. So that might be an issue moving forward, that the judge didn't recuse himself if he did know the father. If him and the father had a close relationship in the prosecutor, then maybe the judge should have recused himself. So that might be an issue moving forward. I don't know. He might have action in the appeals. We have to wait and see. But it's his, it's his right to appeal 30 days after the conviction. So he already did already. I'm pretty sure they filled out that paperwork yesterday. So yes, he's going to the appeals. The appeals could last years. Even if he loses the first appeal, then he still have appeal rights. It'll be years before he exhausts all his appeal rights. Years. Years, in the future. But yeah, before he exhausts everything. So you always got action in the appeals. You always have to believe that. That's why he has to stay in the law library, you know, just in case. You never know. But I think a lot of people, though, they're upset because they feel like he should have got manslaughter. He should have got manslaughter years. That's what people they said they would have been more comfortable with that because he didn't set out to go kill the kid. You know, it was his reckless behavior caused the death of another person. That's manslaughter. He was being reckless. But then again, I wasn't there. They could have, I don't know what they were saying back and forth to each other, but they claimed that he said, because the jury believed this when they said that he had his hand in his bag. Apparently, the jury believed that. So that's murder one. If he had his hand in his bag, said, yeah, come close if you want to, that's murder one. The jury believed that. Okay. For them to convict him on that, they had to believe that story. Because without that story, that's not murder one, that's manslaughter. That's why, if you notice, the courts put manslaughter on the table. They say, yeah, they agreed to do that, just so the jury can have that option. So the jury can have that option because I guess they like, we probably can't, we may not get a murder one conviction. So let's give them the option of manslaughter. Okay. Because maybe the jury, just in case that jury don't believe that story. Okay. But the fact of the matter is the jury did believe the story. Because if you believe that story that he had his hand in his bag and he told him, yeah, come closer, touch me if you want to, come close and see what happened. That's murder one. And apparently the jury believed that story because there's no video to prove that. You understand what I'm saying? There's no video to prove that he had his hand in his bag. They believe the testimony. So the jury believed that. That stuck with the jury. That stuck with the jury. Because look, there's no video. Did they play a video showing him with his hand in his bag, daring him to come closer? No. They believe the testimony. That stuck with the jury. The jury had him guilty way before they started deliberating. Oh, they did shut it down? Because it's still, why is it still active? Let me look at it again. It's still active. Let me look. Let me see if I can donate. Hold on. All right, let me see if it's still active. Let me see if I could donate. Yeah, they shut it down. I'm looking at it. They removed the 630K guys. They did. Oh, that sucks. Yep, they shut it down. The link is no longer active. I just tried to go on the link. It's no longer active. Wow, they did it as of 3 hours ago. Oh my God. That's not right. I believe that people still should be allowed to raise money for lawyers. Now, let's talk about that. So now that's when people are saying, Max, that's racial because other people like Kyle Rittenhouse, he raised a lot of money. George Zimmerman raised a lot of money. Chud the Builder raised over 100,000. Even though, let me tell you what the judge did with Chud though. You know what the judge said? Oh, by the way, that money you just raised, you can't use that for your bail. So that's why Chud's still sitting there. Well, I'm not purposely lying on the family. I just didn't. I thought they collected the money. I thought so, but they shut it down. That hurts. 625,000 they raised. You know what that could have did? That could have bought him a good appeals attorney. Oh my God, this is set up for him not even winning the appeal. Listen, if he had raised 600,000, they could have bought them a high-powered appeal attorney. Shit, Lord have mercy. They need somebody with deep pockets to come along. All these celebrities that's talking about, they donate to the family. You said the family spent that money on a mansion and a BMW and didn't use a single cent on a lawyer. Lord have mercy. Dark, don't mind Dark, guys. Dark is on one today. He was cool yesterday. Dark on one. No, they ain't buying no mansion. Okay, so they had a paid lawyer. Okay, I my apologies. I will if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Okay, did they have a paid lawyer? Okay, my apologies. They had a paid lawyer. Listen, I didn't listen, Lion. I didn't put him in jail. Okay, he the one stabbed the kid. Okay, so just me sitting up here talking don't mean shit. Ain't nobody listening to me. I don't mean and what I'm saying don't mean nothing. In my opinion, don't mean nothing. You need to go talk to that jury. The jury's the one put him away. I didn't put him away. The jury did. Okay, the jury the one put him away. They believe that he reached in his bag talking about come close if you want to. The jury's the one believe that. You said black people can't have money. They had a big house before all this broke off. They doing pretty well. You said breaking news: the jury and the judge are under investigation. Yeah, did you hear? Now watch this. I bet you nobody gonna say I'm doing misinformation on this. You know what I heard? The judge told them to do this expeditiously in an expeditious manner. Okay, I'm not lying about that, am I? That's wrong. He gonna have action on appeal on that. And let me tell you something else y'all don't know. That's enough to get his case thrown out and he can come home. Did you know that? Okay, then. The judge told the jury to do this in a fast manner. Okay? Yeah, ain't nobody saying I'm lying now. Are you? No. So do he have action in appeal? Because that was highly prejudicial. And yes. So he can win this on appeal. Okay, let's see what y'all say now. Am I lying about that? Okay, then. He told them to do this in a fast manner. So there you go. So maybe, I don't know. Yeah, he want this to be done and over. But you don't tell them to rush. The jury could take their time on this. They could take as much time as they want to deliberate. You don't tell them to do this in a quick manner. Yeah, he can't influence the jury like that. They can get the case thrown out. Okay, there you go. Now you're saying I'm like, you said he did say that. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me read what you said. Hold on. You said, I never heard a judge say that. He also told the jury to keep the family in mind. Yes, he did say that. He told he told the jury to keep the family in mind while you deliberating. What type of shit is that? Guys, the case is gonna get thrown out if it goes to a higher court. As a matter of fact, it should go to the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme. If it goes all the way to the United States Supreme Court, he'll come home. The case will get thrown out. You ain't no way in the hell you gonna tell a jury to keep the family in mind while you deliberating. What the fuck? Oh Lord. He said, do this in a fast manner now. Be swift with it. With your verdict. Be swift. Yeah, that's some old country shit. I don't want to live in Texas. I know a lot of people speak highly of Texas. A lot of people are moving to Texas and all that. I don't want to move to Texas. Y'all can have Texas, bro. Y'all can have it. Or maybe he trying to help the kid out by saying that, because an appeal, that's a good appeal situation. That's crazy. Keep the family in mind while you deliberating. You said it's cool most of the time. We have some effed up laws. Yeah, that's why I don't want to move there. Uh-uh. I'll pass through Texas. I ain't saying Texas is a bad state as far as to live, but it's nice. Y'all can get some nice houses for your money. Very nice. That's not fake news. He did say for them to I'm paraphrasing, but kind of speed up the process, something like that. Yeah, we just got past that he's not a public defender. We just got past it. Yeah, they ain't got no state tax, but they get you on a property tax. Well, I mean, well, like I said, I guess Texas okay. Just don't do no crime there. That's it. Just keep being a lawful citizen. Don't get caught up in the system in Texas. Yes, sir. I guess Texas all right. You know what I'm saying? Long as you're a law abiding citizen. Stay away. If you're not, stay away from Texas. You say y'all got to stop believing those Facebook posts. And all right, let's cut the madness right now. Let's talk about what really matters. It's not the judge's fault. The jury was the one that told him that he was guilty. The jury. So you need to go talk to the jury. And the jury was the one that gave him 35 years. Let's talk about that. The jury did this. They the ones believed the fact that this was first degree murder. So let's talk about that. So how did the jury come to that determination? Did they see a video of him reaching in his bag? The answer is no. Did they see a video of the actual stabbing? No. They believe the testimony that he said, "Come over here if you want to." The jury believed that. They didn't believe it was self-defense. It don't matter what we saying. It doesn't matter. The jury had the final say. Yeah, Texas. I heard Texas is nice, Ryan. That's why I say I had to take that back. Texas ain't nothing wrong with Texas. There's nothing wrong with Texas. They got some cool people there because people watch me over in Texas. I got a lot of people that watch me over in Texas. Texas, nice place. You said no license to carry in Texas, but you got to know how to. Yeah, Texas. Yeah, you get some nice homes for in Texas. Your money go a little further in Texas. But the fact of the matter is, guys, the jury's the one that said it wasn't self-defense. They said that. Now, like I said, he can appeal. If he don't win the appeals, I think they said the closest time he could get out is 17 years. So he's looking at to do 17 before he's eligible. You said 15 people said that's what Carmelo. Right. So that's what the jury believed. That's what the jury went on, Dark, to make their decision that it was first degree. Murder one. Yeah, you can't say that, guys. You can't say, yeah, come over here if you want to, MF. I'm paraphrasing. I don't know if he said that, but come over here if you want to. I got that act right for you. Okay? Come over here if you want to, Joe. I got some act right for you. And then you're gonna be like, oh yeah, you're gonna come over here and I'm gonna do that to you. I can't do that. That's murder. The murder one in Texas. You can't do that. That's what people are saying, that there was video that was left out. I don't know about that. Well, then talk to his attorneys on that. They should have pressed that issue harder. I don't think it's no video. I don't think it's no videos. I think that all would have been in evidence. You said, of course they would lie. They have to live in that town. Do you think they lied about it? That's crazy. So you don't believe that that he reached in his bag and said, "Come over here if you want to." That's what probably what the jury was saying. Like, yeah, come over here if you want to. And that kid went over there, poked him. Can't do that. Y'all okay with Chud being in jail, right? So what's the problem? Y'all okay with him being in jail? Because that's the same thing. He provoked the guy by calling him names, talking about he champing out. And then the dude got mad and attacked him, and Chud shot him. No, it was hand to hand combat. You don't use a gun in that situation, but he did. So his ass is locked up. Okay. For attempted murder. For attempted murder. You can't say, come over here if you want to. I remember I was going through my concealed weapons license class. They said you don't want to be, there's two types of gun owners. You don't want to be the second type. There's the responsible type and there's a Wisher MF or Wood type. You don't want to be that type. Yeah, I got a gun now. I wish somebody would test me. Then you walking around with your balls hanging out. Okay. Now you got your chest hanging out now, waiting for somebody to say something. Let me see. You said no trespassing. I don't know about the no trespass. He was there to run track. You said if you can, please play. What we got? T. What we got? What we want to play? You said look at Hunter's first interview. He said Austin grabbed Carmelo's bag. He grabbed his bag. Oh, because he was like, "Yeah, come over if you want to." That's why he grabbed his bag. Because he grabbed his bag because he did. But why did he grab his bag though? Is it because he said, "Come over here if you want to"? Like, come over here and reached his hand in his bag and he grabbed the bag, but he already had his hand on the knife in the bag. So no matter if he grabbed the bag or not. Yeah, this is crazy. So what's his name? Hunter what? Let's go look at his interview now. What's his name? Hunter what? What's his name, God? All right, let me find it. Hold on. Let's look at it now. Thank you. Thank you for putting me on to that. Hunter interview. Karmelo. All right, let's listen to this. Hold on. Family of 17-year-old run a stab in Frisco meet. All right, let me find it. You said Hunter, right? He's with his mom. You talking about Hunter? Hold on. I got it. Hold on. Give me a second. All right. Let's listen to the interview. This is about a year ago. Hold on. Is it the one where, yeah, he's with his mother, right? It says family of 17-year-old stab. All right, let's listen to this.
He was screaming that Austin had been stabbed.
All right, let's listen to this. Okay, let's listen to it. Hold on, let me get it. I'm gonna keep it a stack with y'all. This is the first time I'm listening to this. I'm keeping a stack with you. I know y'all like, you gotta be kidding me. Yeah, it's the first time I'm watching it. Hold on. At least I'm honest. I could have told you, yeah, I heard that already. I didn't see this first time you seeing this. Honesty always don't pay in this world. People, oh, you didn't watch it, dude. You sitting up here talking. All right, let's watch it. Let's listen to it.
My son isn't here anymore, and I don't understand it.
Just tell me about what happened today.
I don't know. I got a phone call from Hunter. He was screaming that Austin had been stabbed. I was at work, and so I drove I work in Grapevine, so I drove to the hospital straight away. I actually beat the ambulance there. Yeah, I saw them have him come out. He was on a lot of machines, and it didn't take long for them to come in to say that he had passed. So, not sure, senseless act of a boy that was in the wrong tent, and my son doing the right thing by telling that boy that he needed to be removed from where he was, and just doesn't make any sense. I mean, that's my just because the kid was mad, my son is not here anymore, and I don't understand it.
Tell me about Austin. What do you want people to know about your boy?
He was the most amazing kid. Oh, so smart. He had college football guys looking at him to play in college. His goal was to play in college. He just wanted to play football. His life was going to the gym and working out and being a leader on his football team. And he just had such ambitions and a drive that it's hard to find in a kid. And he's just such a good spirit. And so many kids loved him. And his brother lost his best friend.
They're twins, right?
Yeah, identical twins. Yeah.
They've been like,
They are the best of friends. Like, just I'm so worried about my son because he's gonna have to face this world alone now because he had a brother that was with him the whole time, and now he's gonna have to do it alone. And I'm just so worried about him. I really am.
was Hunter with Austin today?
He was. They made him go away when they were doing CPR on him, but he was there when he was stabbed, and he was holding, I guess, the wound to keep it from. He was trying to save his brother, but I think he said he saw when he took his last breath, and before the CPR came back in. So, for what I heard, he was unresponsive for 5 minutes. They were able to revive him a little, but I think it was too little, too late.
What can the community do for your family?
They need to support the kids at the school. Austin was loved by so many people. They need to know that there's other people out there for them and not against them, and Frisco Memorial has got a football program it's in a process, and we want everybody to know that it's a family and they're there together. So but just to put your arms wrap around the support. Says Hunter. Did you want to talk to him?
Oh, man. I'm so sorry for your loss. Thank you. I'm so sorry. He's a good kid. We just got a little altercation, and that's really it. But he has a good heart. Everyone knows. Everyone around here knows he's a great kid. He just one mistake from that dude, and just took my brother. Just he didn't deserve it. No one deserves a loss from a family like that. I know people that lose their family members all the time, but I just didn't know it's gonna be mine so soon. My best friend and my brother my whole life, but if y'all could just not y'all, sorry. Just thank y'all for just comforting us, and the Frisco area has been comforting my family and me, and I just really appreciate everything that everyone's done. It's a really hard loss, but we're gonna get through it with my family, so we'll just stay together. I mean, our relationship is really the tightest I've ever seen in somebody, between two human beings. I mean, we did everything together, clean the dishes together, do the artwork together, sports, you name anything in the world, it's always us two and one thing. So you're always just basically one person.
You guys just a few minutes apart?
4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Austin was first by 4 minutes. He got stuck in me.
So technically, your bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. He does a lot of big brother stuff around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what it is. So it's just really heartbreaking to see someone that cares for you that much and does everything even by your side no matter what, just pass away like that.
Mm-hmm. Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, if you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So
Yeah.
just that's just what I saw, and I tried to help him, but
It was just senseless.
it was really senseless. Really, I don't know why a person would do that to someone just over that little argument. It's just crazy in this world nowadays how people just up and do that. Like that man has a family. That man has people that care about them all the time, and he did everything for our family too. He was a strong man. He was a strong kid.
Mm-hmm.
Real strong. And I know I'm strong too, but he's a little stronger. But he did a lot for our family and a bunch of stuff that we just don't recognize. And it's just like, especially throughout our friends too, like everyone knew, like he was the peacemaker. So I'm saying, like, heard someone who really makes peace, really calms peace down. He makes everything sail smoothly. And because I get upset, but then he calms me down. He was just always there for me. So it's just really heartbreaking to see like how this happened.
Oh my goodness. And you guys are
17.
Yeah, they'll be 18 in July.
I saw a lot of articles say you guys were 16. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they're 17.
Yes, ma'am.
Junior?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Austin wanted to play football.
He would have played college football.
he would have.
He,
For sure.
He definitely used his mindset, his skill level, his IQ at the game was probably the best I've seen in the Frisco area.
Yeah.
As a linebacker, he was a stud, and I always try to fill those shoes with him and play with him. And I had a blast my whole life playing sports with him. My whole life, it was just me and him always good against people. And our last year together was this year, so it's just really heartbreaking not to see him next year on the field.
I'm so sorry, my love. Oh my goodness. I saw that he won like linebacker of the year.
For the Frisco Memorial, he was
Second team all district, which he should have been first.
Yeah.
But it's just everyone knows around this area the impacts of what he does for football and what he does for families and friends. Like he's just a great guy overall to be around, and
hard worker.
Extremely. It's just really hard. It's just really hard to see someone go like that just for like recklessness.
Mm-hmm. My focus of my story is, of course, on Austin. That is what's most important. But what would you say about the suspect and what's next?
I don't know anything about him. We have nothing to say.
I've never met this kid until right then. It really was under 30 seconds, this altercation. I've never met this kid in my entire life. And it's just...
And to be honest with you, we don't want to give him any recognition or any care because we have no desire to have anything to do with that man. So...
If Austin can hear you, what would you say to him?
I'd say that's really hard, but I'd say a lot of things because I saw him before his last moments, and it was just
how much we loved him. He knew that.
He knew how much I loved him, how much I do for him. I do anything for him.
Yeah.
No matter what. He's called me. I think anything that he needs, I'll do it for him. He's just a great guy. So when you have a great guy, you want people to be around you. They're going to be around you no matter what. Like he's a great leader. That's why I always want to tell him, like, I always wanted to be like him in that sense. It's like how he just communicates and has great ways with people all the time. And I always looked up to him for like that. He was a big brother in a sense. He was the same age, but he was a big brother than me.
We just want to make sure that everybody knows how much that Austin is going to be still in our lives, as far as in our memories and our hearts forever. You know, it's going to be really hard. This is going to be really hard.
I can see how much you guys love and adore him.
Yeah, I'm really trying not to cry, but it's
it's your baby.
Yeah. He was my big baby. He was 225 pounds. Both of them big boys. And I loved movie time with them. They would ask me if we'd watch a movie and sit on the couch, and he'd put his head on my lap and I'd scratch his back. And he was just, I don't know, he'd tell me things. He was so personable with me. And, you know, I knew stuff that most teenagers wouldn't tell their moms, that just things that because we were close, you know, and now it's going to be us wrangling the future together.
I know you were with him till the end, right? Did you hold him the whole time?
I did, and they yanked me off.
They had to leave. He had to be removed when they did CPR, and then he wasn't able to be in the ambulance with them on the way to the hospital.
So it was just like heart throbbing the whole time, the whole ride on the hospital.
How did you get to the hospital?
My dad came. I called my mom. My mom didn't know. She didn't answer. She was at work, and then she answered my phone. I told her what happened. She came in right away, and then we drove to the hospital. We're trying to figure everything out.
Yeah, it was hard. That was tough because I beat the ambulance there. I don't even know how that's possible, but I did because I came in from Grapevine.
Just got a little altercation, and that's really it. But he has a good heart. Everyone knows. Everyone around here knows he's a great kid. He just one mistake from that dude, and just took my brother. Just he didn't deserve it. No one deserves a loss from a family like that. I know people that lose their family members all the time, but I just didn't know it's gonna be mine so soon. My best friend is my brother my whole life, but if y'all could just not y'all, sorry. Just thank y'all for just comforting us, and the Frisco area has been comforting my family and me. And I just really appreciate everything that everyone's done. It's a really hard loss, but we're gonna get through it with my family, so we'll just stay together. I mean, our relationship is really the tightest I've ever seen in somebody, between two human beings. I mean, we did everything together, clean the dishes together, do the artwork together, sports, you name anything in the world, it's always us two and one thing. So you're always just basically one person.
You guys just a few minutes apart?
4 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Austin was first by 4 minutes. He got stuck in me.
So technically your bigger brother.
Yes, ma'am. He does a lot of big brother stuff around. He's always on my back. Even if I'm in the wrong, he'll always take my side no matter what. It's just really heartbreaking to see someone that cares for you that much and does everything even by your side no matter what, just pass away like that.
Mm-hmm. Your mom told me that you were there.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, if you don't mind, what happened?
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless. And my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." He's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. The kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So I had to listen to it twice. He said that he did grab the backpack. His brother did grab the backpack. He said the kid was talking reckless. He got aggressive and he was talking reckless. And he said before you know it, he already got stabbed. So I don't know what's apparently the jury believed that. So I don't know. You said they broke their father's arm. Guess that. Yeah, but that ain't had nothing to do with this particular case. You know what I'm saying? That probably wasn't even admitted into evidence, actually. That didn't have nothing to do with this right here. So if he had already grabbed the backpack, maybe he had already was holding on to the knife in the backpack. That's the only thing I can get out of it. Or he rushed him, and while he was grabbing the backpack, he got stabbed. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I think they all were talking reckless. That's what was happening. And it happened so fast. I know how teenagers get, man. And the fact he said that he was talking reckless, you know, like you make me move or whatever. So I don't know. Man, when you say they lied, we got to have proof that they lied. Like, where is the proof that they lied? That's I know everybody is saying is they lied. Now, when you saying they lied, what do you mean by that? Did they jump him? Is that what you're saying? We need to have proof of that they lied. Like, is there any video evidence somewhere? Like, you said there's a lot of police reports on those twins. And I'm gonna tell you something, just compared to Carmelo and compared to the surviving twin, that kid is huge, yo, compared to him. He is huge. He every bit of 220 some pounds. They not lying when they said that these kids was big. They are. He got broad shoulders too. So it wouldn't have been no fair fight, like as far as the fist fight, but you know what I'm saying? Okay, so you saying a violent mob was surround him. Show me the video. Where's the video at? You and the thing is, you got to tell that to the jury. The one believed this situation. The jury didn't have that to deliberate on that there was a mob surrounding him. And he didn't say that in the police body cam. He said, I told him not to touch me. So that's video of that. There's video of this, of him telling the police officer what the deal was. And another thing is, let me just say this real quick, guys. Let me just say this. You could take it for what it is. I don't believe that. You know why? Because after the fact, he did that to my brother. Me and him would still be fighting. And he would have got jumped. If there was an angry mob around him after he did that, how come they didn't continue to beat him up? If they see, okay, our homeboy just got stabbed. You mean to tell me ain't nobody sit there and go jump him after that? I don't believe that, yo. I believe it was a single incident. They were talking reckless with each other, and then it happened quickly. Because you ain't gonna sit up here and do this to my brother, and me and you ain't fighting. So I don't know about that. I think they were totally shocked about what happened. They were totally shocked. To prove me I'm wrong. You mean to tell me there was an angry mob surrounding him and they didn't jump him after the fact? I don't know about that. Yeah, it was height and weight. They had height and weight over him. That kid's shoulders broad and his chest is broad. They were some big boys. But my question is, after the dude got stabbed, you mean the angry mob didn't go after Carmelo and stomp him out? If it was my boys, we would have stomped them out. We would have stomped them out. Even though our other boy over there, we would have had somebody tending to him, and we would have tended to Carmelo. We would have stomped him out. We'd have made sure of it. Well, no, there's he did run, but people testified that there was a crowd surrounding him. There was it was a crowd surrounding him, but they didn't touch him after the fact. You say cowards back down once a victim defends himself? Yeah. You said they were probably in shock? Yeah, but the thing is, y'all said it was an angry mob though that was surrounding them. So that angry mob should have handled their business. It don't make sense. You get what I'm saying? It don't make sense. Because if it was me and my boy, we would have handled him. If he sat there and did that fatally, got our boy, we would have handled him right then and there. We would have handled him. Because he still had the knife, guys. He still had it. I don't know, man. I feel like, man, people playing in my face. That's what I feel like. Y'all just saying stuff on the contrary. This shit is common sense I'm talking about, but then y'all say, no, it ain't common sense. I don't buy all that, bro. Nah, yo. They weren't that angry. Shit, after the fact, we would have whooped his tail, man. Yeah, that's all cap, bro. Like, y'all missed me with that. Because if we were angry, we wouldn't have stopped beating on him. Yeah, he would have stabbed a homeboy, but we'd have made sure we would have disabled him with that knife. We would have made sure we got to him. Made sure of it. I don't believe all that. Basically, it was two hotheads. They were going back and forth with each other. They both didn't want to back down. He said, "Come over here if you want to." But he did say that he grabbed a backpack. So that means he had that knife in his hand. He was shielding it. He had the knife in his hand and popped him as he was grabbing the backpack. And then Karmelo was right. He told the police, I told him not to touch me. Yeah, y'all can miss me with the extra stuff. Y'all just sitting up here playing in my face. Y'all can miss me with the extra stuff. I grew up. I grew up in the inner city. I know what real fights look like. So y'all can miss me with that extra stuff. I'm going on common sense now. I'm not. See, you got to understand something. There's a different life. There's online and there's outside. Online, y'all try to play Jedi mind tricks. We going with common sense here. Okay? We're going with common sense here. They both were hotheads. They both were mouthing off each other. And he said, in fact, his brother did grab the backpack. He did. He did touch him. And then Karmelo, he did what he did. Now, my issue is, you mean to tell me they didn't jump him after the fact? They should have jumped him after the fact. This dude sitting over there bleeding, fighting for his life. That mob should have went after him. But these kids weren't like that. They weren't built like that. So that's just what it is, man. He brought a knife to a fist fight. He was wrong for that. He was wrong for bringing a knife to a fist fight. Don't act like some of y'all didn't grow up in the 80s. Don't act like it. He brought a knife to a fist fight, man. That's what happened. I don't give a damn how big these twins were. Okay? I don't care how big they were, and I don't care what they did in their past. It doesn't warrant bringing a knife to a fist fight. So what, you petite, you wear a size 1. Well, keep your mouth shut then, if you scared to fight. So yeah, man, that's common sense. He shouldn't have did that. That's just what it is. I don't agree with this murder. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. You said a witness said, Austin said, I'm not going to fight you. Even Karmelo witness said that. You said a witness said, Austin said, hold on, let me go back. He said, hold on, I'm not going to fight you. Even Karmelo, well, let me see. Witnesses said, Austin said, I'm not going to fight you. Even Karmelo. Yeah, man, I just, it's common sense here. He shouldn't have did what he did, man. That's just what it is. Okay? He shouldn't have did what he did. And maybe he did grab the bag because he said, yeah, I got something in my bag. Maybe he wanted to grab the bag to get the weapon away from him. Because if he had something in his bag, maybe he grabbed it to get away from him and he got stabbed. I don't agree with that. I'm sorry. Because you guys, what some of you guys are saying is it's okay to stab somebody in a fist fight. It's not okay. It's just that we live in a society now where men are they can't fight. That's what we live in a society now. So if that twin raised up on him, like, all right, what's up? I told you get out this tent. What's up? I ain't getting out this tent. Okay, all right, then I guess they about to fight. If he don't want to get out, what's wrong with that? He ain't want to fight because he was a punk. That's why. I don't care if y'all get mad. I'm real. I'm 100. I don't know if I'm gonna live tomorrow. Y'all ain't coming with me. So the hell what y'all saying? I'm speaking on. I'm staying 100 on what I believe right now. Okay. I don't give a damn what nobody think. I'm staying 100 on what I agree with. It was wrong to stab the kid. Okay. So you can get mad with me all you want to. Okay. You're not going to convince me that it was okay to stab somebody in a fist fight. I don't care how big these people were. It's wrong. It's wrong. So that's just what it is. This is not a case for people to get upset with. He got to do his time now. If this people were mobbing him like that, how come they didn't mob him after the fact? If they had more of a reason to beat his ass then, after he did what he did. Them kids ain't built like that, man. Them kids ain't built like that. Shit, he did that to my brother, me and him fighting. After the fact, me and him fighting. While my brothers, I said, go tend to my brother while I handle this right here. Me and him fighting. After what he did. Period. What he did was a punk move. And I'm here as a public service announcement. He is a punk. Okay? He better learn how to fight because he going to gladiator school now. He in gladiator school. So he better learn how to fight. He's in gladiator school now. So that's what happened. That's what he punked his way. He did. He took the punk way out, man. If Austin didn't have a weapon, why'd he have a weapon? Let's go fight hand to hand. Mano y mano. Stop taking up for these punks, man. And this is common sense, and everybody got quiet now. That's right. Actually, y'all didn't get quiet. I'm just not caught up on the comments. That's what it's on my end. Hold on, let me see. Y'all are talking. No, I'm not talking. I'm talking about mano y mano. If you're going to sit up here and tell me to get out this tent, make me get out the tent then. Let's fight. Okay? My hands against your hands. He didn't do that. He took the punk way out and stabbed him. Y'all okay with that? I'm not okay with that. Y'all just going to have to be mad at me. That's it. It did not call for that kid to get stabbed. I'm sorry. It did not. I don't care what he broke his father's arm. That happened prior to that. We talking about this situation. Okay? We talking about this situation right here. Since everybody's okay with that, right? What if I did that to your son? What if your son walking down the street and I'm picking with your son and then I pull out a knife and stab your son? You gonna be okay with that? No. No, you're not gonna be okay with it because you're gonna be like, damn, why you had to do it? Why didn't you fight him? Yeah, he should have fought him, guys. I'm sorry. He should have fought him. Yes, the twins were bigger than he was. Yes. Yes, he was. But see, you got to understand, I got an old mentality. We fought when I was growing up. We sure did. We went back of the trailer or we went in the back of the school, one way or the other, if that's what we had to do. Yep. I'm not condoning what he did. I'm sorry. I know it's popular right now. Oh, this and that and blah, blah. Nah, yo. I don't condone it. I don't condone what Chud did, and I'm not gonna condone what he did. I'm talking reckless on Chud the Builder. I don't like what he did, and I don't like what this kid did. Period. Okay? Chud should have fought that guy with his hands, but he went ahead and tried to shoot the guy because the guy was beating his tail. I don't agree with that. It was a hand-to-hand combat. Chud shouldn't have pulled his gun out, okay? So I don't think this kid should have pulled his knife out. I'm down the middle with it. That's it. You don't bring no knife to no fist fight, just like you don't bring a knife to a gunfight. You understand? That's it. That's it. It's over with. The jury spoke, and that's it. It's that easy. It's that easy right there. You see what I'm saying, Ryan? You don't bring no knife to a gunfight. You don't bring a knife to a fist fight. It has to be equal. I don't care if the guy looked like Lou Ferrigno. If he want to sit up there and fight me and he big as Lou Ferrigno, I'm not going to use a knife on him. But one thing I got God-given speed. I'm a run. Okay? I ain't hit you. I hit y'all with that. I ain't going to sit up there and fight Lou Ferrigno either. I'm a run. Okay? He going to have to catch me with his big ass. The Hulk going to have to catch me. He not gonna sit there and Hulk slam me. He gonna have to catch me. Okay. I played tight end. When I played football, I was a tight end. So I was the size of the twins, but I was a receiver. I was a tight end. That means I could run. So yes, I will run first. I'm not gonna sit up here and fight no Lou Ferrigno. And I ain't gonna sit there and stab him either, because I'm not trying to go to jail. All right, we done with it. You said the bathroom is a dangerous place to fight. Hope your son knows. Yeah, you don't want to fight in no bathroom. Yeah, you don't want to fight in no bathroom. But see, we had to go back, guys. It was right is right and what's wrong is wrong. He messed up. He made a bad decision. He was scared. That's why. He was sitting up there popping it. Because the kid told the story. He said he was sitting there talking reckless. So he was sitting there really popping it. Like, yeah, come over here and what you want to. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going, I ain't going no MF in place. How about that? And reached in his bag, said, come over here if you want to, touch me if you want to. He touched him. He did what he did. No, you can't bring a knife to a fist fight. Yeah, we fought the bullies growing up. So that's what I wanted to say, because a lot of people, and then some people saying he was railroaded, he was set up, and these guys were paid. I saw the same people at the Diddy trial. Y'all know that, right? I was at the Diddy trial. The same people were there. These people paid to be there. Okay. So they can miss me with all that. He was set up in this stuff, please. You said the stand your ground crowd sure is advocating running away all of a sudden. This wasn't stand your ground, Mike. What y'all doing? He you what happens if your son get in a fight with somebody and the person stab your son and your son didn't have a weapon? You okay with that? Nah, come on, guys. Let's go. Ryan, what's going on here, man? What's going on, Joe? I'm just gonna talk to you, man. What's up, Joe? What's up, Ryan? Well, hey, Deb. I'm talking to y'all now. How y'all doing? Yeah, the people that were at the Carmelo Anthony trial, Deb, they were at the Diddy trial, causing trouble as well. You said Melo should have gotten 5 years. He killed somebody, T. T, he killed somebody. What happens if that was your son that got stabbed? All right, to be fair, guys, let's say this. Let's say if your son was the one that got stabbed. Are y'all okay with the perpetrator getting 5 years? Y'all okay with that? And he ain't had no weapon on him, but the perpetrator had a weapon. It's not a fair fight. No, I'm asking T. I'm just asking. I'm not. I'm talking. I'm just speaking in general at this point. Like I'm reading the comments, and that's adding to the conversation. Matt, read my message if you've seen it. Okay, let me go back. Max, I wish the kids would pray. I wish so too, but it didn't happen that way. Good evening, Max. It was wrong. I've been a while since yeah, it's wrong. I saw it now. Okay, I see it. No, he was being a hothead. He was like, "Nah, I ain't leaving this MF in tent. You ain't gonna make me leave. And you ain't leaving this time. You ain't leaving this MF intent. You ain't gonna make me leave. And come over here if you want to. I got something for your ass. Come over here. And he went right over there and he did it. And that's wrong. Yeah, they filed a notice of appeal. That's automatic. They have 30 days to do it, but they filed it yesterday. That's automatic. That's gonna happen. That's his right to appeal the guilty verdict. And not only that, Deb, I'm gonna do a story soon. I have video of the paid protesters. I have it on video. And I can show you who was there and who wasn't. No, he didn't have to stab him. He should have took the butt kicking. Because the way them kids look, he was about to get a butt kicking. Because they are big. They are. And he wasn't, yeah, they were big. So, but he had his knife on him. He figured, I got my knife on. They ain't gonna do nothing to me. And then he told the cop, what did he tell the cop? He said, we have the alleged perpetrator. He said, it's not alleged. I did do it. But it was self-defense. I told him not to touch me. So he said it. He said, there ain't no alleged. I was the one that did it. You said they need another attorney, a bulldog attorney. You talking about for the appeals now. All right, so that's done. So he's convicted. I think we all can agree you don't bring a knife to a fist fight, regardless of what y'all saying to the contrary. We all agree on that, because if it happened to y'all son, y'all be like, Max, man, my son stood up here and got stabbed. He ain't even have no y'all in agreement. But now let's move on to the next issue. Are there any errors in his case that he can win on appeal? What do you guys think? Now, as far as the victim's dad, did he know the judge? Did they have a personal relationship? In that case, the judge should recuse himself from the case. So what do you guys think about that? That could be something that he have action in the appeal. Was there something that was highly prejudicial that was violating his right to a fair trial? These are the things that he's going to argue in the appeal process. Did he have adequate counsel? Things like that. But and also about the black jurors. What do you guys think about the black jurors? Is that an issue? Because his lawyers already brought that up during the voir dire process. They said, hey, listen, you guys are striking these jurors, and these are black jurors. Okay, so his attorneys already brought up that issue, so that's an appealable issue. So that's going to be something that's going to be taken up in the appeals process. So do you guys think that he got action in the appeals? Right. So you think there's a plethora of violations, so we can go there. So it's not over for him yet, right? Because he can either get this case thrown out in the appeals, or he can get another trial. So we'll see. It's not over for him yet. This is not the last time we heard from Karmelo. I'm a little bit troubled by they canceled the crowdfunding. Why would they cancel the crowdfunding for? Why are they not allowed to raise money? That's an issue for me. I think all parties should get money. The twins should get money. They should get money because they need money to get a good lawyer. Why would they cancel that, guys? That's a little troubling for me, because they need money for a high powered attorney in the appeals. So there's some action in the appeals, regardless of he was in the wrong or not, right? Maybe he can get this thing, maybe he can get this case tossed out in the appeal. So that's what we focus on now, moving forward, the appeals process. But why was the crowdfunding yanked though? I don't get that. What's wrong with raising money? You said because probably because they bought cars? Wow. Oh, there's probably a clause that eliminates the funding after conviction, maybe. Yeah, I got to find out why that was yanked. I have to find that out. Let me see. I think there's an article on it. Yeah, the New York Post. It says a controversial online fundraiser for Carmelo Anthony has been shut down after his family raised some $630,000 for legal and living expenses. Now that he was convicted of murder, but his family may still be able to set up a new one. It says it's been shut down after they raised that money because he was convicted of murder. Now that he's been convicted of murder, so they shut it down. That's why. It says Give Send Go is a crowdsourcing platform that differs from GoFundMe in that it allows fundraisers for criminal cases. Confirm fundraising closure in a statement. Yeah, so being that he was convicted, that's why they shut it down. So they're gonna have to start a GoFundMe. Moving forward, they got to start the GoFundMe. So they'll just move over to GoFundMe because GoFundMe is okay with raising for criminal defense stuff like that and for lawyer fees. So yeah, they're gonna have to maybe start a GoFundMe to try to raise expenses for the appellate attorney. You said a 17-year-old shot a 13 or 14-year-old because the 17-year-old got beat up. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so that's the issue with the go give send go. They shut it down after the conviction. So yeah, they have to set up the GoFundMe now. So they probably will raise some money for the lawyers. You said innocent or not? Let me see. Should have brought his freedom. Yeah, not every case meant for courts. Sometimes you have to take the plea. Man. So yeah, now since he's running the appeal, we can talk about the appeals moving forward. I wonder, do they keep the money though? Whatever's left in the account, do they keep that even though it's shut down? Because if they raise over 600, then I don't know if the money getting refunded. I don't know. He can't use the GoFund because of the okay. So they can't collect the rest of the money. That stuff would get refunded then if you because there was a people. The reason why I was saying it, there was people donating last night because I kept refreshing it. So that money is just going to get refunded. So yeah, it's called Give, Send, Go. That was the name of the site. But now they have to go to GoFundMe. Because GoFundMe, you're allowed to raise money for attorney fees and stuff. They're okay with that. So that's what they're gonna have to do moving forward. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the appeals for now on. Because he's officially in appeal. He officially filed yesterday for his appeal. So that's what's happening now. So I don't know. We're gonna have to look at the errors in his case. Well, the attorney is to see what the errors are. They probably gonna be talking heavily on what the judge told the jury, and what else? The judge told the jury, and possibly maybe the judge should have recused himself if he has a relationship with the victim's father. Different things like that. Yeah, I know the family could go to a GoFundMe. They could set that up and go from there. And and oh, the article quote is okay. Yeah, I wonder if they got almost of that money. If they didn't, that's a tragedy. If they didn't, it's all that money getting refunded. Hopefully, they got most of it so they can pay for a lawyer and stuff. But it's a loss on both sides. Their family, they lost a loved one because he's locked up, and the other one that their family is dead. It's a loss on both sides. Oh, and they did get the money? Okay, cool. So at least they got the money. Guys, I'm sorry. I'm luckily I ain't got no kid because I'm hard, yo. You know what I would have told my son? You made your MF in bed, you gonna lay in it. Okay? You ever heard that saying? You made your bed, you gonna lay in it. I'm taking that money and going to Bali. I'm going on vacation. You made your money, you made your bed, you gonna lay in it. You ever heard that? And I'm taking that money going to Bali. Let's go, baby. We need a vacation. Because we ain't tell his ass to go do this. Okay? Out here acting like a fool. I didn't tell you to go out here and act a fool. So y'all ain't hear that. You know what my mother told me? She said, that couldn't have been you. I said, why? She said, you made your bed, you lay in it. She said, I would love you still. You my son, but I'll come visit you. You made your bed, you're going to lay in it. Okay? So I didn't tell you to go out here and act a fool. You leave them people alone over there in their damn tent. What you doing in their tent for anyway? My mother wouldn't have raised no money. I would have had to, you know what I would have had? I would have had a public defender. Okay. And I already told you how my public defender would have been dressed. Where's the picture? Where is the picture? Where is it? I'm going to show you how my public defender would have been dressed. Where is the picture at? My public defender would have been dressed like that. Okay. My public defender, that's what I would have been able to afford. My public defender, I'm going to jail. Shout out to me. That's me at the Met. You see what I'm saying? I'm sitting there chilling at the Met. That's me at Epstein's house. That's Epstein house right there. I played a little football back in the day. That's me in the back. You can't see me though. Um, yeah, man. And see, he lucky. My mother, man, shit. She'd be like, hey, I can't afford no lawyer for you. You made your bed, you gonna lay in it. Y'all wouldn't have cared about me. Y'all was like, what case is this? This is not sensational enough. Y'all wouldn't have supported me. I would have set a fundraiser and raised $20. Y'all wouldn't have gave me no money. So I ain't showing no sympathy because y'all wouldn't have gave me no. A matter of fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start a GoFundMe and see how much I get. My goal is $1 million. Man, I'm lucky if I get $15. All right. I made my bed and I'm gonna lay in it. That's what she told me. You made your bed, you lay in it. I didn't tell you to go out there and act a fool. I raised you the best way I could. Right? That's what she would have told me. So yeah, I hope they take. I'm glad they got that money though. So at least they can go to Bali or somewhere and relax. So they need a vacation. His family, his parents need a vacation. You know what I'm saying? Go to Bali. Shit, they raised like 600,000 guys. Shit, they can take 100,000 and go to Bali for a year and just max and relax. That's what I would do. You know, that's what I would do. Yeah, 600,000. That's a nice piece of money. How much is that after taxes? Yeah, they got other kids that need their attention. He's sitting up there wanting to be Tupac. Will be used in his appeal. You said, do I think Jank Langs? Who the hell is that? We talking about Carmelo right now. His parents need to go ahead and book that trip to Bali. You know what I'm saying? Go enjoy the World Cup with that money. Because their son sitting up there acting like a fool. So it ain't their fault. You didn't see me once blame his family. I just said the only thing I did say is what did they teach him at the house. But other than that, let them go enjoy that money, man. At the end of the day, they can take a little bit of that and get them a lawyer and go to Bali. They deserve a trip right now because they've been through hell and back. So let them go to Bali and go chill. You said Lang is the white supremacist from what I seen. So what is Lang? What did he do? He only one person donated $100. Ain't nobody donating to me. So if they raised 600,000, yeah, man. Yeah, son. I'm sorry. I didn't tell you to go bring no knife to a gunfight. Lucky I ain't got kicked because that's what I told him. You made your bed, you gonna lay in it. Okay. I didn't tell you to bring no knife to no gunfight. No knife to no fist fight. I'm gonna take that money and I'm gonna go somewhere and chill. You said Jake Lang was outside the courthouse making threats against the jury and Carmelo. Okay, he probably would get dealt with then. I'm telling you, people out there paid just to agitate. I ain't studying them. You said go make the case racial and get some money. No, I'm talking about a GoFundMe for me to travel and go see these cases. Can I raise like 300,000? Like I said, the family, go take a vacation and chill. Your son made his bed, he gonna lay in it. He's in God's hands now. Just put him in God's hands and go live your life. He's in God's hands now. Go buy him a Bible and have him start reading the Bible, read them scriptures while he's in that cell. That's the only thing they can do. Sometimes when you raise your kids, you don't know what they're going to do out in public. That's not beyond your control. He came from a good family. His family was well-to-do. They lived in a nice house. They bought him a Lexus. They did everything for this kid. They bought him a Lexus, guys. Okay? When he first got his license. They had a good home for him. They did the best they could do. And he wants to sit out there and be Tupac. So if he want to sit out there and be Tupac, then it ain't nothing else his family can do. They did all they can do. Okay? That's it. Now take some of that money. I think they should go on a nice vacation for a whole year. Leave them kids that they got in the States. Have somebody take care of the kids and they go. They need to go get their mind back. You said God's hands or guard's hands. Both. Lying. He's in the God's and guard's hands. You said, so I'm sorry. I believe, let me tell you something, guys. I came from an era where if you got that belt to ass, that's what era I came from. I'm a latchkey kid. You know what a latchkey kid is? Don't open the door for strangers, except for Miss Alice down the hall. Or Bruce. My boy Bruce. Okay, we were latchkey kids. Okay. We weren't from the timeout generation. I'm not saying it's right to be putting belt to ass to your kids. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, I see life differently. I said he made his bed, he gonna lay in it. Okay? Ain't nobody sitting out here. You were supposed to be out there running track. What you out there talking to? We're supposed to be running track. That's what you went out there for. They sit there and gave him a good life. Okay? I didn't have a Lexus for my first car. He did. He lived a life of luxury. He didn't grow up in no damn hood. His family moved out of there to give him a better life. And he gonna sit up here and do this. Okay? So I'm sorry. So he made his bed, he got to lay in it. Now, hopefully he gets some action in the appeals. But his family, if they listen to me, please go take a trip. Because the mother needs one. I want just the mother and the father to go take a trip. Go take a nice romantic trip somewhere. To Bali. Okay? Just you two. Leave them funky kids at home. Y'all take a trip somewhere. Okay? Take a trip somewhere. And just you and get your relationship back in order. Because it's not your fault that your kid went out and did this. It's not your fault. You said abuse equals real love. Well, listen, and you can call it whatever you want, but that's how we grew up. I only had it happen to me once. Because my mother's damn near over 6 feet tall. So my mother's a giant. Okay? So she sit here and wag her fingers at me. That's a threat. Because she was tall. And she said she can read my mind. She said, you know, I got power to read your mind. I said, really? She said, fix your face. To this day, I don't even know what fix your face means. She said, you fix your face and act like you want to. What does that mean? I thought she was crazy. She said, I can read your mind and fix your face and act like you want to. And I'm like, I remember one time back when we used to go to Kmart. You know what she used to say to me? She used to threaten me before we go in there. She said, listen, we're going to go in this here Kmart and you're going to act like you want to. And don't you show out in here. Okay? Don't you show out. I'm like, Mom, I didn't do nothing. Listen to me. Don't show out in this place around these good peoples. That's what she told me. And I might get you what you want. Now, see, my mother was a softie because I was the only child. So she got me what I wanted. She said, you ain't going to get that bike today unless you up in here showing out. I said, okay, Ma, I ain't going to show out. So I act right. And then she get that bike that I wanted. Because I had every bike. I had the BMX, I had a Diamondback, and I had a mountain bike. Think about that. I had a BMX, a Diamondback, and a mountain bike. Now, at any time, she could take all that away from me if I act up. And I remember one time she had to come down to the school because I was sitting there. And you know what the teacher said? He don't act up in class. He's just trying to show out for his friends. He's trying to fit in. And she said, oh, yeah, that's what he was trying to do? She said, yeah. And I'm like, oh, Lord. I'm just sitting there shaking my head. She said, he trying to show out. He never give us no problem. She said, she looked at me, she said, show out one more time if you want to. And I just looked at her and that was it. Yes, ma'am. She said, I had to come out here and I'm missing this overtime and you want the Micah Jordans? That's how she said Micah. I don't know who the fuck is Micah Jordan, but that's how she used to pronounce, she's from North Carolina, got an accent. She said, you want them here Micah Jordans and all this stuff. I don't bought you them Micah Jordans and all this, and you're gonna sit up here and I bought you the what do you call it? The games, and you're gonna sit up here and act up. And I just shut the F up. I sure did. But she gonna take my Jordans away. Okay. So I shut up at this point. So you know what she told me today? She said, yeah, if that was you, she said, it's sad. She said, because they'll take you away from me, but I would have to speak to you on the phone for the rest of my life. She said that. She said, I can't afford a high-powered attorney for you. I'm on a fixed income. I'm retired. She said, I will have to speak to you on the phone. She said, I will put something in your commissary, but we will have to speak on the phone for the rest of my life. She said, we can't afford no high-powered attorney. That's what she told me. And I was like, yeah, I would never have to. I can't risk my freedom. You see what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, Karmelo was a teenager. Teenagers make mistakes. We all made mistakes. But his mistake is the one that you can't reverse. That's the only thing. That's the difference between him and us. His mistake cannot be reversed. That's the only thing. That's the unfortunate part. And yeah. And it's both on both sides, because I know his brother, the surviving twin, is wishing that his brother had never even approached the kid. At the end of the day. But yeah, man, I wouldn't have shit. She pretty much would have said, you made your bed, you would have had to lay in it. That's pretty much it. But see, Karmelo, since he was a young kid, if this was me, I promise you, ain't nobody gonna be protesting over my ass. They pick cases to protest over. They wouldn't protest over me if I did if it was me that did it. They would like, his old ass should have known better. That's what y'all would have said. Y'all know that. Stop lying. The spirit is telling me y'all sitting up there laughing. That's what y'all would have said. His old ass should have known better. Tell me I'm lying. Y'all, if it was me that did, y'all say he should have known better. What he doing over there? I ain't giving him nothing in his go send me account. Nothing. Okay? Nothing. So y'all stop playing. I'm just being funny. You see what I'm saying, Ryan? Yo, come on. Ryan, you're like, I know Max, he made a mistake. Ain't nothing I could do. Only thing I can do is sit there and watch how the case play out and hope this fool don't get that much time. You know what I'm saying, Ryan? Shit, I don't like, I am not trying to be in nobody's jail. No, sir. No, sir. Every time I get pulled over, the windows go down, the engine goes off, the hazard lights go on, and the lights inside the car comes right on. The officer come up to me, you know why I pulled you over? No, officer, I don't know why you pulled me over, but how are you doing tonight, officer? Just like that. I always get a warning. There's only one time I got a ticket. Usually I get a warning. You said, so was that staff member lying about the video he saw of Karmelo being jumped? You mean that guy that was talking outside the court? Yeah, he was. It's called I ain't want to go to jail. I ain't trying to go to nobody's jail now. You said you want to know his reasoning for packing a knife. Somebody said it was because of his cleats. He used to bring a knife and stuff to adjust his cleats and stuff. Like it's not out of the ordinary. Like it's, If it's meant to be, he'll win in the appeal. Guys, if it's gonna be meant, it'll work itself out in the appeals. But I just want his parents to go take a vacation. And I can't knock his father for speaking. Maybe he didn't want to. Maybe he don't know how to speak. Maybe he didn't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? I can't knock him for that. Like at the end of the day, he didn't ask his son to do this shit. You know, so just at the end of the day, there. You know, so. Oh man. Just like Luigi, you know, that case that I'm gonna follow. I told you I'm gonna be in New York for Luigi Mangione. Ain't nobody tell him to shoot that man in the back. He out there acting a fool. You don't hear his parents. His parents ain't nowhere to be found. I'll wait. Have you seen Luigi's parents? No, no, because they didn't ask their son to go out there and be reckless and act a fool and go shoot somebody in the back in New York City. You ain't see his parents in the media, have you? Luigi Mangione. I'll wait. Joe, have you seen his parents? No. And his parents is well to do. They might have got him a lawyer and everything, of course, because he got Diddy's lawyer. You know, Diddy lawyer, Agnafilo, he's on that case now. So they got money. They paid for his attorney, but they ain't on no media. They ain't out there talking to the cameras. Because he made his bed, he gonna lay in it. They, you know, just because that's his son, you know, I'm gonna get him a lawyer. Yeah, they paid for his lawyer. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pay for his lawyer because that's my son. That's still my baby. I'm gonna pay for his lawyers, but I'm not gonna be in the media. Shit, he made his bed. Ain't nobody tell him to go all the way to New York City to go shoot somebody in the back. Nobody told him to do that. And what's up with all these women at court talking about they love him? It's the same thing they did with Ted Bundy. You remember when Ted Bundy was in court? Y'all, Ryan, if anybody remember T, you remember that? Them women loved Ted Bundy, call him a hunk. You know, that's what they used to say to the guys back in the day. He looked like Tom Selleck. That's what he used to say, call him a hunk. They love them some Ted Bundy. And they doing the same thing with Luigi, talking about he's so beautiful. And then wait till I get there. I'm gonna roast all. Wait till I get there. I said, what are y'all doing here? I want to interview some of the women because one woman said that she married his AI twin. She married him. So I can't wait to interview these women. They did it with the Night Stalker too, Richard Ramirez. You're right. The Night Stalker is Richard Ramirez, correct? Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez. Yes. You said women are crazy and desperate. No, they thought he was handsome. Men do it too, because with Dalia Dippolito, men were writing to her. And Jodi Arias, because we followed that case. Men are still writing to Jodi Arias to this day, wanting to be with her. It's crazy. So, but you see, Luigi parents ain't nowhere. They like, look, man, I'm not sitting here. He made his bed. He gonna lay in it. We'll pay for his attorney though, and see what happened. The only difference is with this case here, Karmelo probably didn't give his family no warning because he was a good student. He wasn't no trouble to his parents, probably. He couldn't have been no trouble. They bought him a car and everything, and then this happened. He made a bad decision. So I feel for his parents on that aspect, you know, because there was no warning given, you know. So he just got into a beef. They got out of hand. You reap what you sow, but yeah, my mother told me, she said, I can't afford, you know, a high powered attorney. She said, and with my health, I can't come to court to see you. That really almost broke my heart when she said that. I said, Mom, I'm never gonna get in no trouble like that. I don't want to put you through that. Oh my God, that almost made me want to cry. She said, I can't physically come to court every day, but I need you here. She said that to me. And I told her I ain't getting in no trouble, Ma. None. And a matter of fact, at this age I ain't been in trouble. And I said, Ma, I've been all these years, I never got in trouble. I ain't getting in trouble now. I'm too old for it. I'm almost a senior. I'm too old for this. She started laughing. Yes, sir. I just want to, talk to you guys. And, I love, we go back and forth and stuff, but I enjoy talking to you guys. I really do. Whether you disagree with me or not, I enjoy the platform. I enjoy, you guys could be anywhere right now, but you decide to talk to me. So I really do appreciate that. You guys could be anywhere right now, but you guys choose to argue with me. Some people argue, whatever, but I do appreciate it. I appreciate the platform, and this and little things for me. I can't give up the little things. So my freedom is everything to me, and I feel bad for this kid that he lost his freedom. It's upsetting a little bit. It is. It's upsetting because the kid lost his freedom, man. And I don't agree with that. To be honest with you, I don't agree with it. And I don't agree with the kid lost his life, yo. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree that that woman lost her twin. I don't agree with that. But shit happens in life. That's the only thing with life. Life ain't fair sometimes. Shit happens, man. It's unbelievable. That kid, he said he had aspirations of playing college football. And yes, he had a checkered past. They said he was a bully and um he broke his father's arm, but he has a right to turn his life around. He's a kid. He was 17 at the time. He had his whole life to turn his life around. You know, Kids make mistakes when they're young, but it don't mean that he can't be a good citizen moving forward. He had time. Like even Tupac, he died young. Tupac had his whole life ahead of him. And I'm gonna tell you guys something about Tupac. Tupac was eventually gonna stop rapping. He was more so he was a better actor. You know what I'm saying? Um, he hung around the wrong crowd. He should have hung out with his actor crowd. You know, but he didn't get the opportunity. People change their viewpoints. They're not the you're not the same person you was when you were 17. So with Carmelo, Carmelo will see the light of day again. It's just gonna be a while. So that's a good positive thing for him. At least he didn't get life. At least the jury didn't sentence him to life without they sentenced him to 35 years. So he got 17 years before he's eligible to get out. So that's something positive that at least he'll see the light of day again. And what is he? What, 19 years old? So he could possibly get out when he's 36. Yeah, the same with Biggie. Yeah, George Zimmerman, that case right there was crazy. The cops even told him to stop pursuing Trayvon. He did it anyway. But at least the parents collected that money, so that at least they can pay for him another attorney in the appeals process. And that's all they can do, really. Go from there. Yeah, he'll enroll in classes. He's a smart kid. He'll be okay. Because he's not, you got to understand, he didn't go in there for SA, sexual assault or nothing like that, or nothing involving children or women or older people. So he'll be okay in prison. He just got to keep his nose clean, get in some programs, finish his education, It's a lot that he can do in the 17 years to be okay in front of the parole board. And a lot of these prisoners now, they're allowed to have iPads. Because I know Nature Boy, he has a phone in his cell. They allow him to have a phone. So at least he can, keep talk to his parents, stuff like that. Um, and just do the best he can do. We don't know what the appeal is going to bring, so we'll see. But that's it, really. But for the Luigi case, guys, I will be there, boots on the ground. So that'll be crazy. Just like the Diddy trial. That Diddy trial was crazy, guys. Daphne walked right past me. She smelled good too, guys. I wanted to ask her what she had on, but her bodyguard was right there. It was a police officer and a bodyguard. She walked, she smiled at me too. Boy, she smelled like, I don't know, man. That whatever perfume she had on, ooh, she smelled good. Oh my God. And I just happened to run into her. I got lucky because I didn't realize, because I had got there late. I didn't realize she was in the building, and she was walking up with the security. She had a police officer and a security guard and somebody else she knew walking with her. They wouldn't let me get on the elevator with her. They told me to wait, and I understood. Ooh, she smelled good. Her hair, she looked good. I said good morning to her. She said good morning, and she smiled. She looked so good. She sure did. She looked so good to me, but she smelled real good. God, I don't know what she had on. I'm gonna ask my mother, because my mother gets a lot of perfume. My mother said, what was it, citrus smell? What was it? Because my mother got a lot of perfume. I don't know, man. It was some niche cologne perfume she had on. And she had on these heels. She was perfect. Her feet was perfect. She was because she was waiting for the elevator for a minute, so I got a good take on her. And I was right there. I could have went up there and shook her hand, because it was a guard there. Okay. If anybody was at the Diddy trial, because I know somebody listened to me that was at the Diddy trial, guys, you know that tall, light-skinned guy? That was a part of the head of security. It was him there. And it was well, a friend of hers, maybe her lawyer or something, and a lawyer, and it was also a police officer with her. And they were waiting for the elevator, and I happened to be right there because I had already put my stuff in. Because you had to check your phone in. So I had to check my phone in. I remember I had my phone and I had my battery pack. I checked in. And I walked, the guy said you can go to the overflow room on the 24th floor. So right when I went to the elevator, she was right there. No, they walked. She was right there. And wow. I said, hey, good morning. I knew it was her. She said, hello. God, she smells so good. God, I can even smell her hair. It smelled good. Golly. I call her Miss Daphne. That's what I call her, Miss Daphne. I love me some Daphne. It was Daphne, Ryan. Daphne. Daphne. I love me some Daphne. Who else? Neek at night got real upset, crying. I could have warned her that she was gonna get attacked. Oh, I met Neek too. She smelled good too. Neek. I met Neek at the Diddy trial. I sure did. And then my friend said, "You look at you smiling ear to ear." I was smiling ear to ear. All you saw was teeth. I met Neek too. I sure did. She'll go ask her. She'll be like, "Oh, I met that fool." She sure did meet me. Neek at night. I shook her hand too. I sure did. I met Tisa Tales too. I even got an interview with Tisa Tales. Sure did. She smelled like $1,000,000 too. What is this perfume they wearing? I don't know. But Daphne, she had it smelled like I was in Hawaii or something. That's what it smelled like. Yep. And she had her hair to the side. You know how Cassie wear her hair to the side? That's how she had hers. And then let me tell you another story about the Diddy trial. So I had got there late. I was going to the overflow room. So it was this guy walking with me. And I should have known he was somebody because he had like, it looked like a bodyguard with him. So me and him were talking. We waiting for the elevator. And I noticed people were staring at us, but I didn't really, you know. And yeah, we were waiting. He was like, yeah, this and that. We would just see like, how your day going? Like, my day going. How your day going? I guess he appreciated the fact that I wasn't clocking him like that. But I guess he realized I didn't know who he was. And he was like, your name? I said, yeah, my name. No, he told me his name after the fact. That's how I knew it was Cassie's husband. But when we got into the overflow room, we both sat in the back together and everybody was staring at us. And I thought they were staring at me. You know what I'm saying? And so then we left together and we were waiting for the elevator. That's how I realized it was her husband. Because after Cassie had got off for a little bit, he left. And I took two and two together. I said, yo, that's Alex. And that was him. And he was like, yo, what's your name? I said, Max. He said, yeah, Al. He said, Al. He didn't say Alex. He said, Al. And he just said, all right, man, good talking to you. And he left. And that was it. Yep, that was her husband. And let me tell you something about Cassie. So I was sitting in an overflow room when she first took the stand. And I know how Diddy must have felt. That girl looking some kind of good. Even all you saw was stomach. It was so cute. Her stomach was huge. I said, this girl about to go into labor or something. But she had her hair nice and done. And she wasn't scared at all. She just sat there and did her testimony. She represented. That is one fine. She fine. Lord have mercy. I was just looking. I was like, wow. And everybody was silent when she started talking. And that was it. She went through, did her testimony. And who else did I run into? I ran into Diddy kids every day. Every day, I ran into the kids. Quincy, I saw a lot in the break room, because in the break room, they have a lunch room on another floor. And that's where everybody used to convene at if we didn't go outside. And his kids used to be in there. They were cool. Nobody really bothered them. They were cool. They were really friendly. Diddy's mother was really friendly. She talked to everybody. Yeah, really friendly, nice people. Oh, I was in a daze. You talking about when Miss Daphne was at the elevator? Yeah, I was. I was in a daze. I was like, man, I was like, wow. I was like, and I saw Gina too in the break room. That was when the sentencing, during the sentencing phase, Gina came. Diddy was messing with this girl named Gina. I saw her. Yep. I was sitting right next to her in the break room. Gina. But yeah, Daphne on another level though. Daphne put together, had her heels on and everything, nails done. I saw everything. Nails done, everything. Feet done. Yeah, she was together, man. And then when she got off the stand, right? When she got off the stand for the last time, she hugged the prosecutors and the defense, the women. She hugged the women from the defense and the prosecutors. And Diddy just sitting there looking at her, like looking crazy. But when Cassie took the stand, you should have saw Diddy. He leaned back in his seat and he was just staring at her. And she did not look his way. She didn't. Not once. She just looked at the judge and the lawyers. The only time she looked at Diddy when they wanted her to point him out and what he had on. That was it. Neek is cool. She's really cool. I met her at the Diddy trial, Shannon. Nika's really nice. She's really nice. Yep. She is really nice. But yeah, man. That's why DJ Academics, because he recently talked to Daphne. And when she was talking to him, I could tell she was hypnotizing him. It almost worked. He said, "Oh my God." He said, I could see how she got these. He said she was hypnotizing him. You know what she said to him? She was like, he said, "Why don't you take a drink with me right now?" Because he had took a drink on camera. She said, "No, I would rather take a drink with you in real life." She said that to him. And all you saw was teeth. He was smiling so damn hard. She said, "No, I'd rather take a drink with you in real life." And you know what she said to him? She said, "I find it very sexy that you're so attracted to me." That girl got game. Daphne, she got game. She sure do. Leave Daphne alone. Daphne's dangerous. She said, "I find it so appealing. It's so sexy that you're so attracted to me." They leave Daphne alone. You said the victim's dad with the judge debunked. Yeah, it is debunked. We already talked about it. The judge wasn't in that photo. Nope. The judge was not in that photo. You know who made that lie? His name is Secret Service Sam. He was also at the Diddy trial. Okay. Okay. So I'm thinking these people are paid to do this, to make these lies up, to get people up in arms. Secret Service, his name is Secret Service Sam. He was at the Diddy trial. Go look if you don't believe me. I used to see him every day. Secret Service Sam. He the one made that story up that the picture had the judge in it. The judge was not in the picture. And also, that guy that was out there in front of the courtroom that said he saw the video of Karmelo getting jumped, he was lying. And also, he's a registered offender, if you know what I mean. So these people could be paid to do all this. So, and also, I had told people at the Diddy trial, y'all got to be careful going to these trials and stuff because y'all going to be under attack. And look, Meek got attacked. It's almost like I can see this stuff coming. You said Secret Service Sam lied on Denot. He always lied on. Yeah, he did. I was there when Denot confronted him. That was hilarious. When Denot confronted him, he said, "Yeah, you just out here so Diddy could see your butts." And Sam was like, "What?" And Denot confronted him. Yeah, Denot was lying. Denot was the one. Secret Service Sam was the one that said Rockefeller or somebody had lawyers come see him. That's how he went viral. That's how he got put on. Secret Service Sam. No, I don't know if the judge know the family, but he wasn't in the picture, Ryan. You know what? It's not don't represent you, Shannon. They ain't got nothing to do with you. We got bad people in every demographic. They don't represent us. They ain't got nothing to do with you. They just got bad people in the world. That's all. So just got bad people all over, man. But I'm just telling you guys, a lot of those people were at the Diddy trial. The Secret Service Sam was all in the mix. And he do like to get his views. He do get his views. He found a way to go viral. I'm not lying to you. And the nod is funny too because him and Gene went at it. Big Gene, you know, Diddy's former bodyguard. The knot confronted him. So it was a lot going on at that Diddy trial. It was crazy. And also there were people out there, you know how if you doing your content, you can get copywritten if music is playing. But there was people out there purposely playing music. So people had to move away from the court building. That was hilarious. You said radicals coming off flavors, stage. Yeah, so that's what it is. Just got bad people everywhere. Yeah, they were in a pissing contest. That's what happened, and stuff went too far, Shannon. That's what happened. We know how teenagers can get. So I guess we're gonna sit here and follow this game tonight, Ryan. We got the game to watch tonight. Y'all think the Knicks gonna pull it out? We'll see later. We're gonna do a watch party again tonight. That'll be in 2.5 hours. Yeah, he died in his arms, Shannon. So it's unfortunate. Yeah, I think the Spurs tonight. You said 35 years, way too much. Well, cut that in half. He's eligible for parole in 17 years. That's still a long time though. 17 years. You said who you got for this game? I'm going with the Spurs. That's what I'm gonna bet on. I'm just trying to make money. Did you guys hear about the World Cup? A lot of people were denied entry. There's a famous referee, a Somalian referee. He's also depicted in the game, the Somalian referee. He was denied entry into the United States. He was supposed to referee in the World Cup. Yeah, they knew it would get cut in half, B. They knew the law. So I know people are saying 35, but it's really 17. As long as he keep his nose clean. Yeah, people were denied entry into the United States, Joe. Hundreds of thousands of people denied entry into the United States. They don't spent 4 years saving money for the World Cup only to get denied entry. So now we can't even tailgate at the stadium, Joe. Remember I said I was going to tailgate at the stadium? I can't do that. So the only thing I can do is just drop people back and forth from the stadium. That's what I'm going to be doing. That's about it. I should be getting my car back. They already approved the claim. So they should be working on my car pretty soon. So it'll be just in time. You said if this was 2 white kids or 2 black kids, it wouldn't have made no attention. It's just for clicks, Shannon. That's what the media does. They sensationalize these stories because that's how they make their money. So we already know the deal. Most people listening, we already know the deal. But some people, we have our differences of opinion on the outcome. It's okay. It sucks either way you look at it, but yeah, man, people denied entry into the United States for the World Cup, and they already said that Uber and Lyft are going to be charging a lot of money just to get to the stadium. So you know who that's going to benefit? Me, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this. I'm going to go to the hotels where the people are going to be staying at, and I'm going to be charging my fee. Okay, to get to the stadium. Because I know from certain hotels going to toss $100 just to get to the stadium. So if I charge, well, how much should I charge? 55? How much should I charge? Maybe 55 to cut their price. I should be okay. But that's what I plan to do. I'm gonna be right up there at them hotels. I know exactly what hotel I'm going to, where all the money gonna be at. That's where I'm gonna be at. Because people gonna need rides to there. Because it's they I heard that it's gonna be hard getting Lyft because it's gonna be so much demand that ain't gonna be enough Lyft drivers. So I'm just gonna hang at the hotel and put my flyer. I'm gonna have like a sign, like I will take you to the stadium. And then if you need me to pick you up from the stadium, just call my number. Yeah, I'm gonna charge less so I can get that money. I'm gonna get that business. Hopefully, they hurry up and fix my car because group play starts soon. So, but yeah, man, that's what I plan to do. And then, take people from the airport. You said lots of people are being denied. No, I'm talking about the World Cup. People are denied entry into the United States. I don't know about Minnesota. But there's going to be a demand, for people getting rides and stuff like that. Because there's so many people coming heading into the state um, that it's a huge demand. So I plan on doing that. If I got to be, I told my mother if I got to sleep in my car. That's what I'm gonna do. If the man is crazy like that, because my plan, I had plans on tailgating, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that. I got to make the money. There's an opportunity here. But yeah, I heard that, and the referee was denied entry. That's something else. It sucks because the people spend all this money. You said how many people can you drive in your car at once? One in the front and three in the back. Four. I can only do four unless I rent like a van. Like if I get some business to where I need a van, I could do that. But they would have to be spending big money with me for me to rent the van. But now it's too late for me to rent the Sprinter because everything is all booked up now. It's probably too late because everybody else had that idea in mind as well to rent a Mercedes Sprinter to accommodate families, to go around town. But I do offer sightseeing too in my package. So after the World Cup, if you like to sightsee New York City, I offer that. So I'll take you to different landmarks in New York City. If you want to go to the towers, I take you there. Um, the Village, 42nd, Washington Heights, Harlem. I'll take you all over. So that's what I'm offering as well. Also, if you want to go to the Edge, I'm offering rides to the Edge. It's this building they built. It's called Edge. Um, I'll take people there. So it's all on my QR code because I have a QR code on my car. I'm in the back of my seat. So when they get in the seat, they just scan the QR code. Or this hotel I already called, I just knocked the manager off with a few dollars. And he said I could keep my flyer in the hotel. So I've already set that up. So I just had to knock them off a few dollars. And then I can just keep my QR code if people need rides. It's 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 right there near MetLife Stadium, that hotel there. So I have my flyer there. So I can just park in the parking lot and they allow me to use the bathroom stuff. I can just chill out there all day and take people back and forth between there and the stadium. Because they're not allowing people to walk to the stadium. So you got to take a ride. So if Lyft and Uber from that point, if they're charging people $75, I'll just charge them 45 to get from the hotel to the stadium because it's only going to take me 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. Or maybe it's traffic, so I could still do okay. I'm not gonna, because whatever Lyft is charged, I'm undercutting it. Because I heard anywhere between, because Lyft drivers already talking about it, Lyft is gonna be charging people $100 and $300 just to get from the stadium when it's over with. So if I'm out in front of there, because there's an area at MetLife Stadium where the rideshare drivers park at, right? So I'm gonna walk around. And if people are complaining, because they do be complaining, like, man, they charging $200 to get to the hotel. Where your hotel at? All right, I'll charge you 85. Boom, they're gonna take it all day long. They gonna do that. So I can just keep going back and forth to the stadium and the hotel. So that's what I plan to do. And I'm gonna have the QR code on my window of my car. I already got one printed out already. So they could just scan it and lock me in. Because the finals is gonna be out here. That's crazy. The finals, the World Cup finals, gonna be at MetLife Stadium, bro. The finals are gonna be at Met. Man, listen, Lyft is gonna be robbing people, but I'm gonna be undercutting. I'm gonna keep my flyer at the hotel, and what I'm gonna do is, because he told me, I said, you mind if I just go on every floor and do my flyer? He said, yeah, you can do that. So I'm gonna go on every floor and keep a flyer near everybody's door of my driving services. You see what I'm saying? So put my flyer out like that. Or he said you can leave the flyer at the coffee thing. At the where people going there to eat. He said you could put your flyer in there too. Because I know the guy. You know what I'm saying? So he said that they're gonna add that to their roster. They're gonna add me because he said they got more drivers. He said they got a total right now of like 40 drivers. And I'm added to the list. So they're going to offer that to their clientele, that they got private drivers for them to get to the stadium, because Lyft is going to be charging an arm and a leg. So, yeah, the World Cup is the world sport. It's the biggest thing. People think the Super Bowl. Nah, it's the World's Cup. It's the World's Cup. What's second? The World's Cup, the Olympics, cricket. Cricket is big. Stuff like that. I wish I could have been doing something during the cricket, but I wasn't even thinking. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy in Jersey because the finals is in MetLife Stadium. So the hotel already told me that. He said that they got a special place for the drivers at MetLife Stadium. I said, I know where it's at. And what I have to do is I have to tell people you got to meet me at this spot, because they won't let us go into the they won't let us go into the parking lot. The people have to walk to us. So I'm gonna be standing there like that, waiting for the people. And then I gotta keep going back to the hotel to take people to the because I got 2 hotels I'm working with. They're down the street from each other. And you had to get permission, you know what I'm saying, to get your flyers to get on their customer list, because they're offering that for their customers. Like, if we're the alternative to Lyft. We're an alternative. They had to take pictures of our cars and everything. We had to send all that. And a license plate number, everything. We had to give them all that information. So I set that up already. And I just gave him a few dollars because I said, listen, I want to put my flyer up in the front. And he said he talking about he don't want to charge me, so that's cool. And yeah. And I'm also offering a different service after the World Cup. If you don't want to take the train, if you feel like doing a night drive to New York, that's what I'm offering. If you want to go to New York or something like that and go around. So I think I'm gonna be busy. Hopefully. Well, I have a QR code sign saying that I'm a private driver, so they'll know. But I'm not gonna be picking up random people from the stadium. I'm already have the clientele set already. Hopefully. But if not, if they, I just need to be safe, I just want to have it set up already. But yeah, so that's what I plan to do. He said it's gonna be really, really busy. He said you're probably gonna be staying up here. He said all their rooms are packed up. He said they've been booked since for a year from now. They've been booked. So everything is filled to capacity. A lot of the World Cup people are staying in Manhattan. So I mean the teams and stuff. Yeah, guys. So we'll see what happens. I definitely gonna try to record some stuff. Yeah, so you said news person out there was defending him by giving a percentage of murders in the United States. Oh Lord. Anything new? Nothing new, B lady. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see you guys. I'm gonna do a watch party with the Knicks tonight. So I'll see you guys a little later. But all right, guys. Good talking to you. I'll catch you later. All right.